Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friday Coffee Klatsch, where we keep you company while you're doing chores or what have you. Um, as usual, those who watch every week, this isn't actually something new, but I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty here getting the link to Artemis/Maya so that she can join us. And I haven't even got my coffee yet. But if I can get her in the studio, as StreamYard calls it, then I can have her vamp while I get some coffee. Um, but I didn't want you guys to think I wasn't showing up, and I don't have one of those cute stream starting soon um, placeholder screens that people have. So I thought I'd just come on here and let you know that there's an issue going on, but we should be with you shortly. Uh, For some reason, if you want a little, how the sausage is made, as they say, for some reason, my link to my messaging program did not want to open, so I could not get the link to the studio over to Artemis, but I think I got it open now. This computer is such a workhorse. I got it from my other daughter, and it has served me well. But I think with half the keyboard not working and some things not wanting to open, maybe it might be time for me to give up on this thing. Okay, the link has been sent. So let me open up my Google Keep, see what our list is for today, see what we've got going. Maybe I can talk about something random with you while I'm waiting for her to show up. She had to work over today, so she may not even be awake. She had to work 3 hours over because of an issue on her job. So she may not even be awake, but we'll see. Let's see. What can we talk about? What can we talk about? What can we talk about? Well, we can get this week's coloring pages out of the way while we're waiting for her because honestly, I didn't get much coloring done. Um, like I was saying last week, usually the pages I can tell what they are. I'm still working out of this book, The Mystery Spots. And usually with the pages, I can tell what's going on before I start coloring, and that helps me pick different colors to use. But this last one I colored, I I couldn't tell what it was, so I just colored it all in one color, and I still don't know what it is. I was hoping maybe if I held it up to the camera, it would make more sense, but it still makes no sense. And I turned it this way, and it looks a little bit like pine cones this way. So, and in the camera, it looks even more like pine cones. So maybe it's supposed to be pine cones, which means I should have done it green, but whatever. So that's my finished picture for today. Um, I'm working on another picture. Hola, Ari. I was wondering if anybody could even hear me because it's so quiet that I'm not used to being here in this studio by myself. So I can't tell if anybody can actually hear me, but you're here, so I guess you can hear me. Let's see if I've heard anything from Artemis. She has not woken up, I don't think. I wonder if I need to send her a little video to jolt her awake. Do a little video call from my tablet. Well, gracias, Ari. It's good to know that I can be heard. Okay. Um, I don't know what to talk about. I'm not good at vamping. I don't want to go through things that are already on this list because then I will feel the urge to repeat them once she's gotten here. So I kind of want to hold off on practically everything on this list, which means I've got to I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about. Well, I can talk about what I have been talk about my day. My day. Yeah, this day barely got started. If you remember from last week, this was supposed to be a makeup and wigs day. And as you can see, it is not a makeup and wigs day. I didn't even have the energy to put on lipstick today. I could not be bothered. It is so hot and my face was sweating. I said, if I put on any makeup, it would just slide right off. That's why, in case you haven't noticed, I am in a different location because I am downstairs in my dining room because it is cooler down here than it is upstairs. I don't often record down here, however, because all my stuff is upstairs. So I don't want to have to drag my laptop down here, drag, you know, all my little things that I want to show and stuff. And usually I use my other computer um, with my notes for the show on it there. And I just got pictures on my wall back there. And so I thought it looks nicer. I have that section just set up just so for what I want to do, and I didn't want to have to bring everything down here, but it was so hot. I said I couldn't. I have no reason not to do it. The other reason I usually stay upstairs is usually after I finish doing this, then I do some actual paid work, and so I can just shift from this and turn over to my other computer and do some work for a few hours, and then go back in my bedroom. But today, since I'm not working today, I was like, okay, I need to come down here because it is too hot to sit upstairs. And I am glad I did because it feels much better down here so you won't have to watch me wiping my face as we're doing the video. Oh my goodness. I think she has totally fallen asleep. She texted me earlier and told me about having to work over, but I'm going to see if I can get her. Maybe if I do a video call, it will wake her up. I'm not going to actually talk to her on the video because that might embarrass her, but I think if she hears her phone ringing, it might wake her up. Okay, that's what I thought. It woke her up. Okay, we are live right now, so I'm gonna hang this up so that you can get yourself together while I vamp some more. Okay? Bye. Okay, so that successfully woke her up. So she should be with us shortly. And then hopefully I can get some coffee. You heard her. Oh, she's going to be upset about that. Hopefully I can get some coffee because I have not had any coffee today and I need coffee today. Let's see. So let me see what we can get off of this list while we're waiting for her. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, I can knock a few things off this list. Like, number one, things that I have been watching lately. Yes, Ari, it is typical her, but to be fair, they made her work 3 hours over her shift. Okay. 3 hours past her clock out time. I don't know what the explanation is going to be for that, but they made her work 3 hours past her clock out time. So she probably came home and went straight to sleep. But so she probably won't be in a wig and makeup either when we see her. even though today was supposed to be wig and makeup day, but I guess we'll have to save that for next week. Um, what else can I talk about? I don't know. I don't know. I think I have given up. Yeah, well, technically it's not the first of the month, but we'll go with that excuse. Um, what was I gonna say? Now you confused me, Ari. You confused me. Let's see. What festival would she have on the brain, Ari? I don't know what festival you are talking about. Maybe she hasn't told me about that. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, this sounds like a whole bunch of mess that Chloe's gonna have to cut out of this video if she ever does any editing for us. Which we're still trying to get her to do that. Um, See, I had something I was gonna say, and you confused me, or when you said a festival. Um, I don't know. I don't know. See, this is why I'm not a YouTuber. I had a fantasy once upon. Uh, oh yeah, the yeah the Chamber of Commerce thing that she does at the first of the month. But this is the 30th, so I don't think they would be doing it today. They'd probably do it next week. The first Friday of the month. They'd probably do it next week because this is the 30th. So, um, although you can't, the people in our neighborhood got started early. They all shoot off firecrackers and anything that makes noise. And they were already shooting them off last night. And it's not even 4th of July yet, and they were already shooting them off last night. Which, if I was to look at our neighborhood Facebook, I'm subscribed to it, but I never go on Facebook anymore. But our neighborhood Facebook is would be upset over the noise because of the dogs, because that happens every year. The people start shooting off firecrackers and what have you, and then the other people are like, my poor dogs can't handle the noise. So it would be one of those situations. But what else was I going to talk about? I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of new games in alpha on Board Game Arena. I know that's not what you guys come here for, but I was looking at it yesterday and there are a lot of. Yeah, she said that last week, but I think she was confused because I think she thought this was the first of the month, but it's not the first of the month. So I think she was confused. Um, what else can we talk about? I don't know. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Um, I'm playing Garami, which is a game with fish, trying to dominate each of the rows and columns. I'm still new to this game. See, I said I wasn't going to be hot, and that's why I came down here, but the nerves of trying to vamp are making me hot. And I got to take this light out of my face. It's driving me absolutely crazy. There we go. Okay. Okay. That's a little bit better. Um, yeah, I know she had another thing that she was going to do, but a charity festival that she was going to participate in, but I don't think that's going to come up until, I think that's middle of July. She got her dates mixed up, so I think that's middle of July. I'm trying to finish all my turns before I get kicked out of any games. Oh, I'm gonna have to bury that. Darn it. So much for that. Let's see. Where could she be? Yeah, see, just having to vamp is making me nervous and it's making me work up a sweat. And having the light from I'm trying to did I like challengers? Challengers, I'll play it, but I don't I feel like challengers feels like just a pretty game of war. So I don't quite understand why all the board hobby board gamers are so interested in it. And I did watch a video from Dice Tower where they were talking about the nominees for the Spiel des Jahres and the Kenner Spiel, and which are two German board gaming awards. They're like big deal muckety muck things in they're like the Oscars for board games. Um, and if you're a hobby board gamer, then if something has won one of the Spiel awards, then people consider it a really good game to, or at least they want to try it. And Challengers has been um, nominated for the Kenner Spiel, which is the more serious games. The Spiel des Jahres is like the family games, and the Kenner Spiel's the more serious games. Challenger has been nominated for the Kenner Spiel, and the video I was watching, people were saying I don't understand why it wasn't just nominated for the Spiel des Jahres because it feels more like a family game. Because there is other than choosing your cards, there isn't really a lot that you have to do in challengers. So I mean, I'm willing to play it, but like if we played it in person, I was thinking when we played it the other day, if we played it in person, I would come up with some sort of house rules where you could choose your cards that you get to lay down, because just having cards come up randomly is just I don't know. It just doesn't give you enough to do, but that's just me. I think Artemis is here with us. So let's see. Hello.
Hi.
Your house sounds a little echoey.
Yeah, probably. Wayne had the neighbors over, hanging out, chatting in the other room, and I
Uh-huh.
have gotten rid of the tapestry. I haven't
Why did you
gotten.
get why did you get
Well,
rid of the tapestry?
I didn't really get rid of it. I moved it to my little nest in there, fully planning to do the live stream in there. And then found out this morning that Wayne was supposed to get off work early today. So he and the roommate, and now the neighbor, because the neighbor was the one who picked him up and came over to chat and everything, are all in there talking. So there's no way I could have live streamed in there. That's what took me so long, was mostly just moving my laptop and any crochet items that I thought I might need in here. And I just realized I forgot two more.
Yeah, I had to do the whole moving thing because as you can
Yeah,
see,
you're in the dining room?
I am. I
Why?
am because it is too hot upstairs.
That makes sense.
And
It was 80 here yesterday.
it's too hot upstairs. And even though I didn't put the makeup on, I was like, okay, I'm just sweating too much. And since I'm not working today, I said, why don't I just try going downstairs and
Yeah, I
see what the
I had fully
situation
planned to
is.
put makeup on, but I only got 4 hours of sleep because again, there was too much stuff for us to put away last night, so I did not get off work until like 8:30 when I'm supposed to be off work at 5 a.m.
Oh, so let's try this properly. Okay, welcome once again to the Friday Coffee Klatsch, where we talk about yarn, life, and everything else in that order. I am Danny,
I am Artemis or Maya.
and we Artemis is going to vamp while I go get some coffee.
Sure, you didn't bring your coffee with you. I brought my coffee with me.
Well, I brought my thing downstairs and then I said, "Okay, I will set this up. I'll send her the link. She will hop right on and then I can go get some coffee while she is vamping." So that didn't happen. So I sat here working up a sweat and Ari trying to prod me to talk because I was going, uh, I don't know what to talk about.
Thanks,
Uh,
Ari.
I don't know what to talk about. Uh,
The
uh,
turns have tabled.
uh, I don't know what to talk about. So if you could vamp while I get some coffee and a snack,
I
we can
can do
we can
that.
start this fake mukbang properly.
Oh
Thank you,
my
dear.
goodness. No worries. How are you, Ari? I am going to attempt to vamp. I was fully asleep. We last night we went to work. Also, hoping for an extra guest today. We'll see if she has the time to log on. I was talking to for Ari, Gil, but for anybody else who watches this, my friend Gil, he like used to live in the area, but both of his parents work at the store that I work at, and so and usually I don't see them because usually I get off work before they get there, but because I was there for like 300 hours, she and her husband were both there, and so I said hi to both of them. But we chatted for a little while, and I was like, "Yeah, I've got to do the live stream with my mom today." And she's like, "Oh, that sounds interesting." And I was like, well, "I can send you the link." So I got Gil to send her the link. So maybe we'll see her in the chat today. So, no, so today's not the first of the month. So today is that was my fault. I just did wrong math when I was counting days. um, Today is the 30th. So the first Fridays is next Friday. And also thank you for saying something about that. I'm gonna put that in the point of life stuff because I wanted to talk about that. First Friday, because that'll be just a quick little something. Because I needed to talk to them. Because if you'll recall, last month I did First Friday, and well, last year when I did First Friday, they paid me by the hour, so all of the kids could come and get their face paint for free. This is driving me crazy. I took my eyebrows off, planning to do makeup, and then didn't do the makeup, and so now I have like no eyebrows. They're gone. But last year, they paid me so I could do the face paint for free. This year, they're like, "Ooh, we think you could make some more money if you charge the customers yourself instead of us paying you by the hour." And I was like, "If you say so." So I am now charging the customers individually for each item instead of the kids being able to just come up for free. But the issue with that is, and the first month it worked out fine. Last month, horrible. Last month I only did $40, which I charge. No, normally people I charge $55 an hour. They got the rate from before I changed my prices, and so I charged them $45 an hour. So I didn't even make my hourly rate that day. Also, the other issues with that are one, a parent like came up to me last month and is like, "Yeah, I'm surprised that you don't. I'm not surprised that you don't have a line this time because you were doing it for free last year, and now you're charging." And I'm like, "I was not doing it for free at any point. I was being paid. It's just they are not paying me anymore." I didn't say it like that, but it was a polite conveying of they decided to change this, not me. Um, and then also because I was just on Instagram today looking at, because I sent them some pictures for them to be able to advertise me on, because First Fridays the event has an Instagram. And so I sent them pictures so that they could advertise me. So maybe I could make more money if this is the way that they want to do it. Maybe I could make some more money if they advertise me as being up there. But when they advertise the kids corner, which is where they specifically put me in the kids corner because the thing that I do is more like kid friendly and everything. When they advertise the kids corner, they say kids corner for free. which is inherently untrue if they are putting me up there and making me charge people. So I will have the conversation about that later. But it's just a frustrating situation. But I have been sorry, I'm exhausted. I'm trying to focus. Maybe I should open my coffee. Maybe that's what I should do. Is open up my coffee so I can have a conversation and not weirdly ramble. I now check the tops of all of these coffees because whether I subconsciously did it or whether it happened and I just need to check, these coffees specifically say to shake them. And there was one day, like a few months back, I went to, not a few months back, it was last month. I went to shake my coffee. I got it out of the fridge. I went to shake my coffee and the lid flew off and got coffee all over me, all over the commission that I was working on. So I had to go get new yarn for that. No, I didn't have to get new yarn. I had to like cut the little like coffee bits out of the yarn. It's going to be short. We're not going to do the like 5-hour, 4-hour sessions that we were doing before. Because we found out that StreamYard is like, girlie, you only get so many hours. So we're not going to do the super long sessions that we were going to do before, but I think we're going to do an hour or two. I think that's the plan. But yeah, I got coffee all over the yarn and everything. So I had to deal with that. It was a pain in the butt to get past. Because I had to like work until I got to a sticky section, and then I had to stop and clip out the sticky section of coffee section, and then work. And there were just 3 little splatters. And the way that yarn is wrapped, it's wrapped kind of not higgledy-piggledy, but like diagonally and like crisscrossing over itself. So it's not like it's just going to be like one piece of yarn that's got it. It's like several, like you wrap and then you come back again, and there it is again. And then you unwrap and then you come back again, and there it is again. It was a pain in the butt. And I picked up the bottle just now. I don't think I'm subconsciously opening these lids, but what other answer is there? Unless these lids are just too easy to open. Because I picked this up just now, and the lid was open. I went to check it before I shake it, and the lid was open, and I like fully closed it. And I'm like, how are these lids coming open? Because I don't just sit open. I've spilled far too many drinks on the floor that now I make sure that I close all of my lids before I set them on. So I'm wondering how these lids are getting open. It's a conspiracy.
See, you're so much better at vamping than I am.
I'm really not. I'm fully not. Were you able to hear me vamping?
No, I just heard your last rant about coffee lids.
Yeah, I was ranting about coffee lids because I was about to take a sip of my coffee. It was a nightmare.
Okay, so we have wasted 28 minutes of our viewers' time. So
You're
how about
welcome.
we talk about something?
Let's go through the life update stuff.
Life update.
Do. Um,
Okay, so first thing on the list is all you. I'm
first
not
thing
your
on
self-promotion girl.
First thing on the list, we got a Discord BB. Check down in the description after this, or you can check the description of the previous live if you're here with us, like Ari. Yes, she does know about the coffee in the yarn because I was calling her the entire time saying, "Can I wash a ball of yarn?" And she was like, "Don't do that." Because I really just fully wanted to throw the entire skein of yarn into the washing machine. It was a nightmare. But y'all check out the Discord. It'll be in the description of this video if you're watching this after the fact, or if you're watching this live, like Ari, you can in a separate tab open up the other page, the other last week's video, and the link to the Discord is there. Ronald has already joined. Ronald is there. We have made a few posts. There's places to show off your finished projects. There's a place to show off projects that you would like to do. There's the general chat just for general chatting. And yeah, it's cool. We may do, once we're done here, we may do our like after party chat over there. We'll see. We have not fully decided that, but go check out the Discord, guys. Do you have anything to say about the Discord? No. She doesn't think it's a good idea. I think it's good.
I am not, I didn't say it was a bad idea. You see, I posted some stuff. I'm just not a self-promotion girly.
Yeah, so Discord.
So that's all you. Okay, so you want to tell us about Biltmore?
Okay, so last week I said I needed to. We had a shorter session because I needed to leave to go work an event, and I'm like, the event is in Biltmore. I was thinking that the event was going to be like, because the Biltmore area, for any, we talked about it last week, but the Biltmore is like the mansion in North Carolina, but the oh, the Discord link expires in 2 hours.
I didn't realize the link expires.
I didn't realize that
Sorry.
either. I'll see if I can find it. I'll see if I can figure out a permanent link, and we'll put it at the end of this one, and maybe replace it. Um, but the Biltmore area, so Biltmore, like the grounds super fancy and everything. They have like big Christmas thing every year and everything. And then the area surrounding Biltmore is just a very like bougie area. Like the McDonald's over there was on a documentary as one of the fanciest McDonald's like in the world. It was, they have a grand
Lord.
piano in there. Yeah, they have
Oh,
a,
Lord.
yes, it is insane. Um, but so I thought that I was going to be at an event in the Biltmore area, like in that part of town. No, I pulled up, had to talk to, because I thought I was just like going to pull up to like a building or whatever, go talk to like some bouncer or something, say my name, and then get in and like do the hangout or whatever.
Bouncer. They don't have bouncers at Biltmore. They're fancier than that.
They don't call it a
Bouncer.
bouncer, but that's what it is.
Bouncer.
The like
A
concierge
bouncer sounds
person.
like a bouncer sounds like a strip club.
It
This is
does,
not
but
a
that's,
bouncer.
they're doing the same job. They are telling you whether or not you can go into this place.
Okay.
But I pull up to like essentially what looks like a toll booth, and the guy is like, "What party are you with?" And I'm like, well, she said that I'm here to do henna for an event. She said she put my name on a list. And so he's like, okay, what's your name? And so I'm like, last name. And he's like, what's your first name? I say Maya. He looks, he's like, I don't see your name on the list. I'm gonna need to at least know what party you're for, or I can't let you in. And I'm like not into the building, but into the grounds. I have not gotten to the building yet. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Because they charge like $75 just to walk up on that piece.
Yes.
So they're
And
not
so
letting you in if you haven't paid any money.
yes, luckily I had my customer's full name because I had to send her an invoice. And so I gave her name, and he's like, "Oh, okay, go ahead, you're good." And so I'm like, "Okay." And so I drive it. I am driving through beautiful countryside, trees, signs that say horse crossing. If you have a horse
You
crossing
you act like you've never
on your
been to
ground,
You act like you've not been to Biltmore
the
before.
last time I went to Biltmore, I was 12 and on a bus trying not to look awkward. What do you mean?
To be honest, the last time I went to Biltmore, I was about 12 too.
Exactly. And
And we know I am way far from being 12.
for both of us, that was like over 10 or 12 years ago.
Over 10
So
or 12 years ago.
for me at least, I mean, it is true. This is how math works. Greater than
Yeah, for
or equal
you,
to.
for you,
Greater than or
you need
equal
to,
to. That is how math works.
you need to emphasize the over 10 years for me, because
Over.
the way over. But
So
continue.
I'm driving. It is gorgeous. And there's no sign of the building that I'm supposed to be in anywhere in sight. I have to drive a full like 8 minutes before I get to the building. I have gotten onto the grounds. Drive 8 minutes. I'm trying to emphasize for anyone who has never been to Biltmore. I'm on the grounds. I drive for 8 minutes before I even get to the building on the grounds that I'm doing the thing at. And so I get there, And they said it's because she said it like it was nothing. She's like, oh yeah, the event's going to be at Lion's Crest. And I'm like, I don't know what Lion's Crest is. Is this a restaurant? Is this a what is this? And so I get there and it's an event like restaurant hall.
Space.
Yeah, it's an event restaurant space. And so I get there and I don't see there's not a sign on the front of any buildings that say Lion's Crest, but so I'm looking around, but there's a sign that points like Lion's Crest this way in the direction of like two buildings. And then I look up and in this big like circular window is like a lion crest, like a lion emblem etched into the window. And so I'm like, that has got to be it. And so I park and then I get out. And as I'm parking and getting out, I'm seeing a lot of people in traditional like saris. I think that's what they're called. The Indian SARI, the saris, and very fancily dressed Indian men. And I'm like, because I don't normally do, I to explain why I got stressed, I don't normally do traditional style henna because people around me don't normally want traditional style henna. They like the idea of it, but they normally want like, give me some flowers. Can you draw this anime character? Can you put my name in a heart with a butterfly? Hey, Ronald. You're good, Ronald. Oh, Ronald was a Spanish lesson.
Buenas tardes, Ronald.
We've got our international man of mystery, Ronald. Oh, my camera went out. Oh my goodness. So
we can still hear you.
Okay, yeah, because I think it's on the mic that's on the headset. So to catch you up, Ronald, I am talking about the event from last week. I went to Biltmore, which, like we were saying, was the mansion in North Carolina. It was hella fancy. It's hella fancy. And then I get there and I see traditionally dressed Indian people.
Yes, so you don't normally do traditional henna.
Yes, I don't normally do traditional henna because that's not what the people in this area normally ask me for. And so I am out of practice with that. And then I'm looking around because I don't see anybody. Like, I see the building with the big Lion's Crest on it. But again, it does not just say Lion's Crest on the front. It's once you like go around to kind of a side, there's a sign for it, like a sign in front of it. But that was not immediately visible to me. So I'm like trying to figure out what building I need to go to. And I see people going into this other building. And so I'm like, but I walk up to the building that I am pretty confident is Lion's Crest. And I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I walk up and there is a little sign there. Once you get like right up on it, like walking, not driving, that says like Lion's Crest events, blah, blah. But nobody's there. Mm-hmm. And so I see, there's some other guests who are again, like, Indian saris, blah, blah, blah. They walk over this way and I'm like, hi, I'm here for the event for customer name. And they're like, oh yeah, we're here for that event too. We just aren't sure where to go. And I'm like, I'm not sure where to go either. And so finally we go into the building and like, there's a sign in there that's like, so-and-so event straight ahead, so-and-so other event to the right. And so we're like, okay, so we're straight ahead, but we walk through, there's like tables and stuff set up, no one's in there. And so we walk back out because we're not sure if we're supposed to be in there yet, but it's time when they're supposed to be started because I was supposed to be there at 6:30. It is 6:30, no one's there. And then finally
I didn't get all this background when you talked to me the other day.
No, because I knew that we were gonna talk about it later. Okay. But I was okay, I'll get to that. But so we go back out because we're like, are we supposed to be in there yet? Are we not? Are we in the wrong place? What are we doing? And so I've just bonded with these people. Where they go, I go. And then one of the events.
You are your mother's daughter because that's what I do. When I am nervous in a place, I latch on to somebody who looks friendly and try to make friends with them right quick so I can find where to go because I don't like trying to navigate by myself.
Absolutely not. Because getting lost is like one of my biggest nightmares. Just like lost forever. Hate it. I rarely go on Insta, but I saw some neat pictures on that. Thank you. I've been posting a lot of stuff on Instagram. I think the pictures
I guess I need to go look at your Instagram.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I should.
But so we are trying to figure it out and kind of puttering around when one of the event coordinator people, who is this tall, handsome. Like, I texted my mom and I was like, I wish Ronald was here to see this guy. He's a tall, like super handsome, rugged, like lumberjack. As he was in a full suit. He was in a full suit, but like in the way that in a rom-com, you would have pulled this man out of the woods mid tree chopping, suited him up because he's got an event but doesn't know how to do the city slicker stuff, and he's just like salt and pepper beard and like his little hair like parted over, and just this man looked like a model. It was insane. But like big husky model. And he was like so much taller. Like he was tall. He was like Wayne's height. Wayne is taller than me. He was like 6 something. He's tall. But he comes out and he's like, "Who are you people here for?" And we're like, "We're here for such and such event." And he's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and go through. They're still over there across the street doing the wedding rehearsal." It was a wedding. And I was instantly both nervous and furious. I was instantly nervous and furious. Nervous because I was not prepared for a wedding. Like I said, I don't do traditional, and weddings require a lot of things, and especially like traditional Indian weddings. They exactly, Ronald. It was fancy, and he just like was very like confident and like in charge and authoritative because he knew what was going on, unlike the rest of us. But the photographer was there too. She was like a petite little woman who also knew what was going on and kind of guided us there and was like, "Oh, I love henna. I'm going to be over at your table a lot." Blah, blah, blah. But it was a wedding. I was nervous because I did not bring enough henna for a wedding. She did not specify how many people were going to be there. So I just brought like a henna cone and a half, which can do several people, but with the amount.
For those who don't know, a traditional Indian wedding, usually the night before or a couple nights before, the bride and her bridal party get this whole it's a whole, you know,
To
it,
do.
it's a whole to do. Um Kind of like an Indian female version of the bachelor party, except they get all up and down. I mean, very intricate. I'll see if I can.
Tips, yeah. They will
I had
get.
to
I've
pull up
been.
pictures for your father the other day because I was telling him when you called, I said, say, because as you were texting from the wedding, I said to your father, say a prayer for her because she's freaking out because she doesn't have enough henna and they didn't tell her this was a wedding. And normally she charges more for a wedding and they didn't tell her this was a wedding. So pray for her that this is all going to go all right. But you keep
Yeah.
talking. I'll pull up some pictures.
Also, Ronald said, "Love your pin," and I just noticed the pride pin. I didn't even know because I
Yeah,
think you were sitting lower.
we were going to talk about that later because it's
Okay,
very, but yeah.
we'll circle to it. But so yeah, she's gonna pull up some pictures. But Indian weddings normally, especially if you're going to do the bride, is like tip to at least elbow on front and back on both hands, and sometimes the feet. Like a lot of times the feet. And so I was not prepared to do the bride. I was not told that I was going to have to do a bride. And so I was fairly confident that I wasn't going to have to do the bride because usually the bride will talk to the person. They might ask for like something personal in the design. Some people will like hide the husband's name in the design. And like there are a lot of things going into that. So because she did not discuss any of those things with me, I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to have to do the bride. And then but I am still panicking because I do not have enough henna to do. I don't know how many people are showing up for this wedding rehearsal thing. I don't have enough henna. I was planning for like 20, 30 people or something. I know how many people were going to show up and get henna. People start filing in. I'm sitting in my little corner. People start filing in the door. And so there you go. There's some pictures of what like wedding henna would be, and not just the insides of her arms, but also the outsides of her arms. It will be both sides. And very intricate, very like traditional stuff, which is again, not normally what I do. And so I was panicking because also, even if I'm not doing the bride, if I'm doing the bridal party or any of the family, that's going to be some Indian aunties looking at this little black girl sitting in the corner. Like, what does she know about henna? is she going to do this right? Does she even know the designs?
Look at
Which,
this the Statue of Liberty in the one and the Space Needle in the other.
because that's probably where each of them are from. That's how that works. And I was not prepared to do any of that. And cause I've done weddings before where the aunties are like sitting in the corner, like I'm here to do the henna for even just the bridal party, not even doing the bride. And the aunties are in the corner, like eyeballing me, and they come over and they're like, "Can you do this? Can you do that?" But they're using different terms for the shapes than the terms that I know for the shapes. And so we're trying to work this out and like get through that barrier or whatever. And they already don't think that I can do it. They don't say that. They're being very polite, but polite in that way that they are not confident in you. And people are filing in and I'm stressing out and I don't have enough henna. And so as soon as this happens, I text both my husband and my mom. And I'm like, it's a wedding. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have enough henna. And so I luckily, like, thanks to a stroke of the Lord, I had, cause normally I only have the little cone that I use to apply the henna in my bag. And that's all that I have in my little, thermal lunch bag. But, the last event that I did, I didn't have any cones rolled. So I put the whole big carrot bag of henna, which is like it's like the kind of like a big carrot bag that you would use for piping icing. It's a big carrot bag of the remainder of the henna in there so I could roll a cone on the spot at that event. And so at this event, I hadn't taken the carrot bag out of my lunchbox, so I still had that carrot bag in there. Now we have the issue of I don't have any cones rolled, but I go and I dig through my little thing because I always keep tape and scissors and everything in case I need to like tape my cones or adjust or anything. And so I go through and I find an old cone that had been emptied and was like a pretty decent size. So I snip the top of it off and refill up that old cone, which is not something that I normally do because it's a big mess. I snip the top off, refill that old cone, and am able to seal it. So I have a full fresh cone and then like a half cone that's still like fresh-ish, but a half cone that's in there. So I'm confident that I have enough. But in the process, we had a casualty. Folks. I was so upset. My one nice jumpsuit that I wear that's like I may have worn it on the stream before one time. I wore it oh no, I don't think I did. We did the live stream the day that I had my interview for my job. But it's like sleeveless, and so it's got elastic right here and cuts off and then has like a frill and then like goes down into a jumpsuit, and it's got pinstripes on it. It's black with white pinstripes. Oh, as I was filling up this cone and was trying to close it and everything, just a little dollop of henna fell right on my leg on this nice jumpsuit that is the nicest outfit that I wear anywhere. And for anyone who doesn't know, henna stains forever. Just forever, forever. It stains and will not come out. So I have not checked it since I washed it. But because I am hurt. But I'm like, no. But also, there's henna on my pants at this fancy event. So I luckily it's on the leg that's facing the table. So I tuck into the table and kind of cover it up. I also got henna on their table, but they're a bit more. They can buy another tablecloth. Yeah. So I filled that up and then but I'm still panicking. Like I'm panic looking up traditional designs to try to commit some of the elements to memory so I can do for when all these people come over. And then it's been 30 minutes. I got there on time. And so it's been 30 minutes and no one's come over to my table. And it's been 45 minutes and no one's come over to my table. And they've got a TV set up in the corner, and I look over and see pictures of a lovely Indian lady and a white man. And I'm like, okay, she's marrying a white man. So half the people here are going to have no idea. Feeling a little bit more confident. And so, but 45 minutes passes and nobody comes over. And then almost an hour passes. It's 50, 55 minutes passes and no one has come over to my table. And so I'm are we just fully waiting for the thing to let out, or are people going to come over and they're getting ready to start serving food and everything? And then finally somebody's dad comes over and he's like, are you the one doing the henna? And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the henna. And he's like, okay. And he goes, and then I see this girl awkwardly walk over and she's like, my dad said you were doing henna and sent me over here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the henna. And she's like, oh, okay. And so she sits down, and that's what starts the people coming over. She gets her henna and then walks away. And then that's what starts the people coming over, because they didn't give me a sign or anything. They didn't tell me that I needed a sign. I assumed that they had told everybody that I was going to be doing henna there. And so I was tucked in the little corner, but I guess nobody realized what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm doing the henna. I only got a few pictures. I gave my card to the photographer, to one of the photographers who was taking a lot of the pictures of me doing the henna and stuff, to maybe try to get some of her pictures, or of just me in the hands. Or I also did henna of her. So like if I can get any of her pictures, but I have not heard back from her. So I don't think that's going to happen. But my next thought was, and it went fine. Everybody that came over was like, your work is so good. And not just the white ladies, but also the Indian girls. It was like younger Indian girls, like 20 somethings, maybe 30 somethings, that they're like closer to my age. But they like came over and they're like, oh, it looks really good. And I haven't had henna since like so-and-so's party or blah, blah, blah. And like a long time. And so we like chatted, and it was nice. There were also two, like, I think they were college professors who came over and got henna, because one of them came over and asked, and it was like, is it only for women, or can men get it too? And I'm like, no, men can get henna, because even at Indian weddings, men will get henna too sometimes, depending on like how the family feels about it. So they came over and I did some henna for them. And then my next thought, as I'm packing up, there you go, you got the picture up. Look at that. So there, oh yeah, there was the one black family walks in, which I texted my mom. I was like, I think the only black people have arrived. But they show up, and she like, and I like gave her kind of a nod, and she like gave me kind of a nod in the corner, and I was like, sweet, I got a nod. And then but I could see her kind of looking at me, like before they started serving the food and stuff. I could see the girl whose hand is in the picture kind of looking at me from across the way, and I was like, do I look weird? Do I look bad? Because she had this wig melted into her scalp. It looked gorgeous. It looked, she looked like she was daring the world to deny that was the hair that grew out of her scalp when it was platinum blonde. It looked gorgeous, and her outfit looked gorgeous and everything. And I was like, because I was here. And luckily, because they didn't tell me what kind of event it was, I normally, when they don't tell me what kind of event it is, and because my whole Faye aesthetic, I have the whole Faye aesthetic thing, I will show up elf ears, like fantasy-esque clothing and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, this is a bit more fancy. I had my elf ears like in my bag, but I was like, maybe let's not with the Faye vibes today, because it feels like it'll be more fancy than that. Thank goodness I didn't do that. But I did have like my afro out, and I had on some like more subdued makeup than I normally do, because normally I will be wilding out. But I had more like subdued, like what could be considered glam makeup on that day. And she like just walked over, like I could see her eyeballing me, so I was trying not to make eye contact, because I was feeling very awkward. But then she walked over and she's like, I just wanted to tell you, you look really pretty. And I was like, thank you. I think you look pretty too. Your hair looks great. So later on in the night, she got henna. I did henna for like one auntie. One of the Indian aunties came over because her daughter.
I asked you how the aunties did, because you said they were eyeballing you when you texted me.
Yeah, so one girl got henna and then brought her mother over. So her mother came over and was like very polite and was like, yeah. And so I was just doing artist choice all night. I was not taking any suggestions or anything. So I was just doing artist choice all night. And so I just did a design that was like a bit more traditional than what I've been putting on anyone else, just to like, for her sake. But she seemed very happy with it. She seemed very happy with the thing. But the rest of the aunties, she was the only auntie that came over to the table. The rest of the aunties, I could see them like every once in a while when I looked up, I could see them like they would and look across the thing. And
bombastic side eye.
Yes, they were just giving me side eye from across the place. And I was like, okay, you didn't pay me. You don't have to come get henna. You are fine. You try finding henna in the Asheville area. Because, sweetie, let me tell you, it's me. There's nothing else. It's me. Because I know unless there are any other up-and-coming henna artists, none of the other henna artists are really doing henna right now. They might take small appointments or something, but also none of them are doing weddings. because I know my mentor Julie, she hates weddings. She does not like doing them. She charges like $300 an hour for weddings. So but she's also been doing henna since 1993.
Oh
So
Lord.
yes,
She's
she's
been
been doing
doing
henna
heading since you were alive. Since you were
exactly,
born. Good Lord.
exactly.
Well, so the wedding went well. Did you get any tips?
I did not get any tips, which I was not,
But
which
you
I
weren't
was,
expecting to because it's a
yeah,
wedding.
yeah. Weddings don't normally do tips, but
Okay.
it went pretty well.
The Fay Nectar. The Fay
Yes.
Haven.
Faye Nectar, you said it right when I put the words in the thing. I went to the Faye Nectar event. Yeah, my birthday too, Ari, because we were born the same year. um, but I went to the Faye Nectar event, and it was their bigger event of the month because once a month they get there's a local group in the Asheville area called Warriors of Ash, and they are like, I'm definitely gonna butcher this, but they're like historical reenactment fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't it's not like fake choreographed fighting. Like they have weapons that have been either blunted or like recreated, but like in a safe way. But they're doing like real fighting. Like they wear like padded armor and stuff so that they don't like hurt each other. They're doing real fighting. So they made a little ring, like arena, out in the big field, and then they had the vendors down out in the big field. Which before, when I vended over there, we were up like kind of close to the meadery, but they had us in their backyard, essentially out in the big field, so that we could vend like right near the Warriors. But it was a pretty decent day. It was pretty good. I made about $200 there.
Oh,
Which
cool.
they only charged me 25 to be there. It's an hour away, so there's the gas as well. But the gas, it's not that much gas, it's like $10. So it went pretty well. I got a flower crown, which is one of the pictures that you see that you'll see on the Instagram. And I don't know. Yeah, it was a good event. I feel like I was going to say something about the event, but I still have sleep brain, so I cannot remember any of the other things that I was going to say. I definitely want to make sure that I come out again for the big event. We just have to, hopefully it coincides with the weeks that I'm going to be out there normally, so I don't have to cancel at the Mars Hill Farmers Market, because that's what I did this past week was, so the week before last was a Faye Nectar weekend. Last weekend was supposed to be a Mars Hill weekend, and then next weekend is supposed to be a Faye Nectar weekend. But last weekend was when they were doing the big weekend, when I thought I could make more money, which I absolutely made more money than I would have at Mars Hill. And so I emailed Mars Hill and was like, I'm so sorry, I have to cancel for this weekend, and drove out there and made about $200. It was pretty good. I can't think of anything else to say about that. I'm sure I was going to say something, and I just cannot recall. I drank too much gin and made my little tummy hurt. Gin is like it's a fermented honey drink that's like, I think, comparable to kombucha, that's like fermented and all the yummy probiotics for your tummy and everything. But I had like 4 of them when I normally only have like 1 at a time. I had like 4 of them. It was like, why does my tummy hurt?
Why does your tummy hurt?
But yeah, that one was pretty good. I definitely want to do that again. They had great music, and the music was like down out in the field with us. I did get bit up by everyone calls them something different, and I don't like saying any of the names. They're the little tiny red bugs. Up here we call them something that is one letter away from a slur. And then I think down further south they call them no-see-ums. In Florida, they call them no-see-ums. Ooh, Ronald said, I got my face painted at the Pride Beer Dabbler. And I thought, oh, nice. In the South, we call them red bugs. Okay, yeah. I would just say red bugs. One of the ladies who's vending who was from Florida. And then I heard somebody else like from Florida call them no-see-ums. Hey, there's the picture. I love that flower crown. That flower crown is sitting on my desk in the other room right now. I traded this lady that flower crown for the henna that she's got on her arm, because that was a $20 flower crown. So I gave her $20 worth of henna.
Well, that worked out well.
Yeah, Ronald, that's the word that everybody else up here calls them. And I'm like, I don't want to call them that. Do we have any other, do we have the scientific name even? That's something. But yeah, it was Devin next. I'm going back to Fay
Okay,
Nectar this weekend.
you're a henna supplier?
Yes, so my henna mentor is no longer doing henna. Um, she did henna for 30 years and is now moving on to a new journey of permanent tattooing. So she was selling the henna for a while, even though she wasn't making it, wasn't like that. She was selling henna for a while, even though she wasn't making it for herself. She was selling it like to me and I think a few other people. But she has decided that she is done like making the henna as well, and also is going to be moving to the Charlotte area fairly soon with her new husband. Um, so the last henna that I bought from her is the last henna that I'm going to be able to buy from her. So I have to either order my henna online and pay the obnoxious shipping costs because henna has to stay frozen. So they need to both ship it to you very quickly. And then also they usually ship like ice packs or something to try to keep it cold. And so it's just a lot. It's like, it's more than I want to pay because I usually pay, because when I was paying Julie, I would buy the big carrot bag, which was like, I don't know how many ounces. But she charged me either $25 or $30 for it. I think she charged me $25 and I would always tip her $5. So that's why I'm thinking 30. But so she would only charge me about $25 for that carrot bag. If I'm ordering a carrot bag online, it's like 30 plus shipping, 40 plus shipping. And so I don't want to do that. So I'm ordering the powder and the essential oils that I need to make it, which is all of that. Ordering that is only $25. I need to find a mixer because you have to mix it in a bowl, and hand mixing is a pain in the butt, which is why I do not do it myself. The hand mixing is a pain in the butt, and then you have to like leave it out to like develop or whatever, but you have to leave it in you have to sit it in an area that's 70 something degrees consistently for 24 hours and like make sure that it like develops properly, and then you gotta like check it, and if it's not, you gotta leave it
Where you
longer.
gonna find that this time of year?
Well, I just don't know where I'm going to leave it because I could leave it outside, but it's not like it gets too cool at night. I can't really leave it in the house because the AC is constantly running. So it's like 60 something, it's like 68, 60, 65 in here at all times. I'm wearing like a long sleeve. I'm wearing almost a thermal right now in my house in the middle of summer. So I got to figure that out. Plus that's after this, after we do this live stream, I'm going to Goodwill to hopefully find a mixer, either a hand mixer or a stand mixer to be able to mix. It's just, I don't want to do it.
The hand mixer will be most likely because stand mixers are expensive.
Yeah. So hopefully I can find a hand mixer and maybe a metal bowl to mix it in.
First Friday.
So I was saying at the top as part of my vamping, just a refresher on everybody. Last year, they paid me to do First Friday so I could do the face paint and henna for free. This year, they're like, you're on your own, girl. Charge them yourself. We think you'll make more money. And I'm like, okay. The first month of this year, I made a decent amount, as if they hit like the amount equal to if they had charged, if they had paid me by the hour. So I was like, sweet. Last month, I made $40 when I charge $45 an hour. At least I charge them. They are still paid. They would be paid my lower rate.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was before I changed my prices.
So you made $40 for the whole night.
Less than my $45 an hour. So I was there for 3 hours. And one of the parents commented like, yeah, I'm not super surprised that your line is a lot shorter because you were doing it for free last year. And I was like, yeah. And I like in a very polite way said it was not my idea to change the way that we were doing it. They decided to change it. So and then another thing that I was saying to Ari earlier is, hand mixers are quite cheap. Okay, good. I really hope I can find find one. I just hope that there's one there. My fear is that I'm going to get there and there's just not, no one has donated one. But another thing I was saying to Ari was I sent them some of my, just recently, like a few days ago, sent them some of my henna pictures so they could use them as, and I think some of my like fairy pictures, so they could use them as promotional pictures on their Instagram, because First Fridays itself has an Instagram, not just like the businesses that are putting it on, but there's a First Fridays Instagram. And so I sent them some of my pictures so that they could advertise. But when I was looking through, a lot of stuff to do. Going to be looking. Okay, no worries, Ronald. We will just know. We will just have that air of fanciness of an international man of mystery listening in. But on the Instagram, because I was looking at their Instagram to see if they had posted any of my pictures yet, and like which ones they had chosen, if anybody's saying anything, and they hadn't posted any of my pictures yet. But when they make the post for the kids corner, which is where they put me, they specifically put me in the kids corner for, because they have deemed myself like good for kids, and so they want me up there for the kids. They say kids corner free, which is inherently untrue because they are asking me to charge people, but they are saying kids corner free. And so I am the only person in the kids corner that's doing kid things that is charging. And I feel like that looks bad on me.
Yes.
When it was not even my idea.
Yes.
So I texted her, my contact, my liaison with the commerce people, and said, hey, I just wanted to like follow up with you. I know it's a bit late, but I wanted to follow up with you before this upcoming First Friday. Last month was not good for me. I only made $40 for the night. And I didn't say anything about like, let's change. That was when I suggested, I was like, last month was not good for me. I only made $40. Can I send you some pictures so you guys can promote it on the Instagram? Saying like, I'm offering you a solution, but also telling you this was really bad. Like I'm offering you something to like try to help a little bit, but also telling you this is really bad. And so she said, yes, please go ahead and send the pictures so that we can promote you on the Instagram. And also I'm going to talk to the commerce people about compensating you. So I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to try to compensate me for last month. I don't know if they're going to try moving forward, going back to the old way of paying me so we can do it for free. But if they do it the old way again, so next Friday's for Friday, if they do it the old way again, next this upcoming First Friday, and I still make under what I would have made for the hour, I'm going to talk to her about I understand that what I offer is a kids thing, but up here I am spending my time and not making any money. And if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to charge, then I would rather be down the hill and able to charge and sell all of my items, as opposed to just doing the face paint and the henna, because I offer a lot of things.
Because they have a section where you could sell your other stuff.
And I'm like, I offer a lot of things for this reason, in case people don't want face paint and henna, so I can still try to sell and make money. And up here is limiting me because I am not able to. I'm not able to vend my other stuff.
Well, that's a good option, because you're telling them it's not like I want to abandon your function. Because they want a bunch of people there so that people will come out. So I'm not trying to abandon your function, but where you have me is not optimal.
Yeah, if you're not going to pay me, where you have me is not good. Hopefully I can talk to her in person. We'll see.
Okay.
So what is this next bullet point?
I'm taking that different supplement, and it seems to be working, but I feel like I think it's just because with 90-degree weather, there's nothing that will help. But also, and I hate to admit this, I read something that said you should give up caffeine to try to limit the hot flashes. Yeah, I see your look.
My mother?
I cannot give up caffeine. Not just your average, oh, I don't want to give up caffeine. I'm a caffeine addicted American. But also, it has been suggested that if you suffer a lot from MS related fatigue and you don't want to go on the drugs and stuff, at the very least, drinking a little bit of coffee or having some caffeine does help.
Hmm.
So, and I honestly, caffeine is how I get myself going for the day.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I mean, I used to drink 3 and 4 cups a day.
I
I
remember that.
All I drink is this 1 cup a day. So I feel like I have limited myself very well, but
Maybe you could cut down to something with like a little like a tea or something that's got less caffeine.
speaking of tea, I think because I was just saying I only drink that 1 cup a day, but your father and I have started drinking those green teas as well. And I've been drinking green tea during the day. And green tea does have caffeine in it as well.
I found the Lipton, and by I mean Wayne found the Lipton
Oh,
green
you
tea
found the
watermelon.
watermelon. Do you like it?
It's okay. I prefer the citrus.
I
It's
prefer the citrus too, but your father really likes the watermelon.
Yeah, I just prefer the citrus. I don't know what it is about that watermelon flavor that's like, because it's not bad, but it's
It's
not like
it's not
exceptional.
flavor. Yeah, it's not flavorful, and it's not. It doesn't taste like watermelon to me.
No, it
But
just tastes like general fruit kind of.
yeah, general fruit is a good way to put it, and it's a step up from drinking water, and it tastes better to me than drinking because I'm trying not to drink those, aspartame filled, sugar free drink straw things
Hmm.
in my water. So I'd rather take the 90 calories of that than drink
When did you
the.
switch from doing the? Because I know that you were drinking a lot of those drink straws. When did you switch from doing the aspartame stuff?
Well, I had stopped doing. Um, I had tried to started avoiding artificial sweeteners like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but I still stuck to the drink straws because they were the only thing that had me drinking water.
Hmm.
And then when we last ran out of drink straws, I just didn't buy anymore.
Okay.
And so that was like maybe 6 months ago. And I
Hmm.
did buy some drink straws just the other day. And your brother has been bringing me those electrolyte things for the last few days because he's
Hmm.
convinced that
That you're not drinking enough water and you are dehydrated.
I need electrolytes. I don't know where he's got this idea
In
from.
our phone call the other day, in our phone call yesterday, he was like, "Did you know that like 70% of women over 40 are dehydrated, and our mother is one of them?"
He's ridiculous. Okay, so you commented on my pen. I know you
Yes.
probably can't see. I'm disappointed because I can't be. I can only be disappointed in myself because I neglect to look at the size of things when I order them.
So you thought it was gonna be bigger?
I thought it was going to be bigger, and even when I look at the size of things, it still doesn't register in my brain, and then it's still smaller than I think it's. Nothing is ever bigger than I think it's going to be. It's always
It's always
smaller than I
smaller.
think.
Yeah.
But
Oh, it's so cute. Wait, what does it say on top? I can't quite read it.
it has words, and that's why it's too small for the words. Can you
What
see
are the
it?
words? I can see that there are words. I cannot see what the words say.
It says you can. Let me see. You can be yourself with me.
Cute.
So it's like an ally pin.
Yeah. Cute. Where'd you get it? You just Etsy or something?
Amazon.
Amazon? Nice.
I got it on the Zon when I went crazy and ordered
All the
all that
makeup.
all that makeup that I'm not wearing.
Cute.
Okay. So I went on because I know you're dying.
I am. You guys can't see, but we have our bullet points, like we have our little bullet point list that we use for what we're going to talk about for the day. And we update it through the week. And so I saw her put a bullet point on there and I added a like emoji because I'm like, what is this? Every once in a while I'll just add emojis like, what are you talking about?
Okay. So I don't follow Facebook that much. I went on Facebook for something because I think I was using Facebook to log into something or whatever. That's all my Facebook is for nowadays is for Facebook Messenger because Artemis only communicates via Facebook Messenger. She doesn't use her text. I don't know why.
I will if you
And
text me, but it's just I like to. It's It's just some people I know will only use Messenger, and so I'd rather have all my messages in the same
Well,
place.
little family history. We got into that habit because we were when everybody first got cell phones, and so we had all these cell phone bills to pay. This was when the kids were still in high school, so we were still paying everybody's cell phone bills. Sometimes somebody's phone would get cut off. Okay, and because we were doing the prepay month by month thing for everybody's phone except for my husband's, and because he works for a cell phone company, that not that he's special. Um, so we we came upon the fact that you could use Messenger if you were in a place with Wi-Fi. It was the same as pretty much texting somebody. So everybody got Messenger on their phone, and we used to just use it like, "Hey, my cell phone's been turned off." While the kids were off at college, they would text me, "Hey, my phone's been turned off. Can you pay my bill?" That's kind of what Messenger was for. And then once they all grew up, started paying their own bills, nobody's phone gets turned off. But Maya never migrated. Everybody else migrated away from Messenger, and Maya never did.
On Messenger, we have this stream of messages that we've been using for years. If you send me a picture, I can look through all of the pictures, all of the links that you sent me. If I'm like, hey, what's the password for Disney Plus? This is me asking for the password for Disney Plus. If I said, hey, what's the password for Disney Plus? And you're like, didn't I already send it to you? And I'm like, oh, let me check. Search in messages. I can search in the messages in Messenger for what's going on. You can have cute little emojis for your little button. Why would I
Whatever.
not?
Whatever. Anyway, so I don't really use Facebook for anything, but I went on there for something. Every once in a while something will come up where they say, "Go to my Facebook page," or something like that to get the information. So that's pretty much all I use Facebook for. To sign up for stuff, Messenger, that kind of thing. So I went on there, and while I'm on there, I usually just clear out the notifications, because I'm one of those people where it annoys me to have a little red thing. Even though I never go on Facebook, it's still, once I see it, it annoys me to have the little red thing. So I clear out the the notifications. Sometimes I check to see what's going on in the neighborhood or whatever. And it says somebody replied to my message. I'm like, I haven't used Facebook in I don't know how long. So what are you replying to? Let me click and see what this is. Somebody put a comment on a message on a post I made in 2013. And
What?
it wasn't even really a post. It was like a thing where I had said that I like the Gaston County YMCA.
What did they say? We got receipts.
Hello, sorry, but I must confess that you are a very beautiful woman and that you have the best smile that only the head of an angel has, which means that you are the head of all the angels in the whole world. Your posts are always worth reading, but we are not friends on Facebook. I sent you a friend request, but it never worked. I would like to become your friend and share ideas with each other. Can you send me a friendly request from your profile so we can become friends? I hope you are not mad about this.
Don't do that.
Don't
Don't do
do what?
that.
Don't do what?
No, you in danger, girl. Don't do that.
I mean, I admit my picture on Facebook does look nice.
Your picture does look nice, but just the way that this is worded, don't do that. You in danger, girl.
And I looked up his profile. He's somebody he lives in Yemen. He
Yeah,
claims he claims he's a doctor. And the
of
picture
course.
and the pictures of himself, if these are his pictures and not catfishing pictures, he's an attractive older man. So too attractive to be flirting with me, let's be honest.
I mean,
So
no,
so
you're gorgeous.
clearly those are his pictures.
You're gorgeous. You could get the lumberjack that was at Biltmore if you wanted to. That message was sus. Even Ariel, this is like sketchy. Ronald is like, do not do it. Ronald or Ari said, if that message doesn't spell a danger. Yeah, one thing I know I don't have to worry about on Scam Goddess, Lacey always talks about check on your parents, check on your grandparents, because the internet people are trying to scam them. I know I don't have to
Are
worry
they
about
going to
you.
get me?
Absolutely
No.
not. Absolutely,
I
absolutely not.
totally copied and pasted that to read out to you today because it was hella funny, but I am not responding to that.
Yeah, I was
You
like,
don't
I
have,
don't have to worry about my mother.
you don't have to worry about the scammers sending me texts about my social security number or something wrong with my IRS account because I will block them and delete them as quickly as I can.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about scammers calling our home phone because it don't
Because
answer.
who's answering that?
We keep the home phone because we are grandfathered into a package from the dawn of time where our phone is rolled in with our
With
cable
the cable.
TV and our internet. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no need to get rid of our landline, where I know that most people have gotten rid of their landlines. We still have one mainly because it was rolled into our other service. And
Mm-hmm.
that's still the number that I give if I don't want to be bothered by you.
Not you having a fake number, but the fake number is the house number.
And so they can call it. I'm not going to answer it. I don't even check the messages but once a year.
Does the house phone even ring?
No. It sits on my I mean it sits on my desktop, but I have the ringer turned off, but I see the
The
light
light?
come on that it's ringing.
Because I know for a while you guys had the answering machine to where it would play out loud. Because I have on multiple occasions called and then waited for the answering machine to go and like, mommy, pick up the phone.
Yeah, that will no longer work. That hasn't worked in many a year
I'm gonna start
because we
calling
don't.
and leaving just like the weirdest messages for you when you do your yearly check of the answering machine.
But yeah, no. Mm-mm. Scammers will not get me in any of those ways because I don't pay attention to them. Salesman,
You are internet savvy.
somebody has been knocking on our door all week, and I peek out the window. I do not see a car. If you know me, I check my phone to see if you have called me to say you're on your way over. I do
Mm-hmm.
not see either of those things. I am not answering the door. And you can hear me walking around in my house, getting my coffee, getting my food if you want to. I'm not answering the door.
See, if people come to our door and we don't want to answer, which most of the time we do answer, but if someone comes to our door and we like don't want to answer or whatever, then I'll like if it's just me alone in the house, like just me and the dogs, or like me and like Christian's asleep in the room or whatever, then I'll like kind of hunker down. All of our front house windows are blocked, so I'll just kind of like hunker down and like turn down whatever I was doing, or like if it was TV, I'll just like leave it on so it like sounds like we left the TV on or something, but I'll like not move for a little while and like wait for
Yeah,
them to go
but
away.
also the benefit is we live in a two-story house. My office is upstairs. So if somebody's coming, they're knocking on the downstairs door. I'm upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel because I know it's crazy, but like if we were in a split level or whatever and I'm down here on the bottom floor and they're knocking on the door, I'd be like you. I'd be like hunching somewhere or thinking they might walk around and come
Look
to
in
the
the
back door where they can look where I'm pointing. You can't see, but there is.
we can see the holy light leaf gleaming
Yeah,
in.
that's a glass door right there. So sometimes if I'm downstairs and somebody knocks on the door, I get this crazy idea that somebody is going to just
If
walk around
somebody
just
walks
past.
around the building, you in danger, girl. They are already doing more than they should. They should not be walk. They have walked onto your property and walked around your house. Absolutely not.
But so yeah, scammers are not going to get me. That's the bottom line on that one. Okay. So, change in stream setup is there you added that. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I was just letting the people know. So, for Ari and Ronald, and anybody else who hops in, maybe we'll catch Darlene. And I was telling Ari, I told Gil's mother about the stream and sent her the link. So we'll see if she hops in today.
Okay.
But we are changing the way that we do the stream, just the items that we touch. So normally we have our life updates, our yarny thoughts, and then what we've been reading and watching, and listening to, and then what have we been playing, and then shower thoughts like after the fact if we still feel like we have any time. So we are changing it because of the time frame that StreamYard is giving us, which we could change back after this. We'll see if we have like maybe cut down the time too much and have extra time at the end of the month. But we are changing it, so we are going to be alternating every week. So one week, this week, we'll be talking about our media consumption, and then next week we'll switch to games, and then the week after that we'll come back to
Yarny thoughts are always going to be right after Life Update because that's how my channel started. And if there's anybody left who's still watching me from when I first started this channel, I want to give them their yarn so they can, see that, and then they can log out if they don't want to hear the rest of this nonsense. But yeah.
We're going to be alternating every week between media consumption and games and see how that works out. See if that will cut down some of the time. Maybe we'll even get to shower thoughts every once in a while.
I think we end up sticking our shower thoughts in our Life Update and our other stuff. Really.
That's true.
We end up sticking those anywhere. So right now we're on to our yarny crafty thoughts. So do you have anything yarny and crafty?
I do. Oh God, it's over here. And I was supposed to be working on it this whole time, but I was busy talking and trying to wake up.
So cute.
Like a little squishy chicken. He's squishy.
So cute.
I made a chicken.
So you have some fiber fill hanging around, huh?
Yes. Look, I even made a little guy.
Oh, cute. Those are cute.
They're so cute. But I've got like a ton of. I still need to sew the faces onto. I've got 4 big ones left. And I alternated the colors. So the gray ones are all from one skein of Super Saver stripes. That's like shades of gray.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a white one that I don't know how I feel about the white one. The white one the white yarn stretches too much, so I can see more of the fiber fill through it. But thank goodness the fiber fill is white, so it's not too bad. But Ari, do you know what this is? This is a square folded in half. This is not making loops and then making more loops for a handle and then sewing those on and then making the key thing and sewing that on and then making the Mickey head keychain and sewing that on. This is a square folded in half. That is why I did. That is the entire reason that I made these chickens is it is a square folded in half. It is so simple.
And you made the chickens because for some reason, every time we watch on YouTube, it seems like all the crochet people who go to market, all they sell is amigurumi stuff.
All of them. And they're like, I made $5,000 at my local market selling amigurumis. And I'm like, is your local market in the center of New York City? Like, what? How are you making this money? But yes, I made chickens. Oh, I didn't even pull it up. I made a little stripy one. He doesn't have his eye yet.
Oh, that's cute.
A little stripy one.
That's cute.
I did not like the yarn that I made that one with, though, so I'm not going to make any more of those, I don't think. Because this one, the one that you called the chicken nugget one.
The chicken nugget.
This is the first Red Heart Super Saver that I've got in a while. It feels rough. Like the rest of those, like, because this one is Red Heart Super Saver stripes, and it feels like for some reason, they just feel very different. Because this one feels like decent. This feels like, it's not like Karen Simply Soft or something, but it's like average or whatever. This feels like I could use it for scrubby yarn. It's like,
yeah, Red Heart used to be hella scratchy.
This must have just been left over in the wings for a while then, because it's like, it's unpleasant. And I don't know why it's like that, because the other Red Heart that I've got in my bag is not like, I'm just wondering, like, what's the consistency issue? Did Did you? No, I didn't use that nasty other yarn for the red. That other yarn is still sitting in the box. If, when, and if I ever decide to use that nasty, stretchy, itchy yarn, I will be sure to let you know. The world will know.
I'm sure you can come up with something fun to use that red yarn for.
No, I hate it. I don't know what to do. I might, you know what I might do? I might take the entire skein and just snip it up and use it as stuffing.
You can't do that.
I can't. It's like ripping string cheese in half. I hate it.
Ripping string cheese in half. That's what string cheese is for.
No, you're supposed to take it from the top and peel it and string it. That's why it's called string cheese.
Okay.
Are you an insane person that just bites into a stick of string cheese?
I do sometimes.
You can't do that.
Of course I
You
can.
can't do that.
Of course I can. Why can't I do that?
Don't, Ronald, don't tell me that yarn would be cute as a chicken. Don't do that to me.
It would be cute as a chicken. It'd be a cute sparkly chicken. Try it and see.
If I have the energy, I might make a single lonely, ugly chicken.
Okay, so we looked at your chickens.
Yes.
Okay. I showed this last week, but it is totally finished and I'm showing it just because I wanted to show you one of the techniques I used. But this is the baby sweater all
It's
finished.
so cute.
All finished. And you see I use the string for tying the neck. That's how I usually do on the girl sweater, is use a string to tie the neck. And I'm going to untie it to show you. I use a different technique. Usually I do um an I cord. And I got my little double pointed needle out and started to do the I cord. And I'm like, this is going to take forever. But I don't really feel like doing a chain because I feel like just a chain is flimsy. And I thought, well, maybe I'll chain and then like, single crochet back on the
Mm-hmm.
chain to make it a little bit thicker. But instead I went online and I said, well, how to make a crocheted cord. And this is the first thing that came up. I'm going to hold it up to see if you can see it.
I also just found a new way to make a cord, and I'm wondering if that is, turn that on its side. What does it look like on the other side? Okay, I don't know. Okay, so I don't think that's the same one that I'm doing. What technique did you use for that?
But this is, let me put this to the side, take it out.
Also, Ronald had already said that that's cute, that it looks cute.
Thank you so much. I feel like I can't even take credit for this anymore because I've done this project so many times and um it's just my go-to sweater. It's my go-to sweater. So,
Not you having that ugly yarn on hand.
it was just in the bottom of the bag that I had. So I'm going to see if I can do this while we're on camera. I'm not very good, but it's basically making a chain that looks almost braided. This might be too thin for me to do this with, but let me see.
You'll either have to hold up your hands or turn that tilt on your camera.
Okay, how did I do it? How did it, I'm trying to,
Ronald, we'll see how it sells. The only thing that I don't know what to do is if I use that nasty yarn to make a chicken. First of all, it'll just be a little baby chicken. I don't know if I'm gonna make a full grown chicken with that. It's also thin, so it might take a bit to make a big one. But I'm vamping while you're trying to remember how to do that. But so the chicken itself will be red. I can use yellow for the beak. I use black for the eyes. But what color should I use for the little red thing? The wattle? No, what is that called? It's called something. But what should I use for the little red chicken bit? Because if the chicken's gonna be red, I can't just use regular red for that because then it'll blend in. Should I use black? It feels like maybe black. Definitely not white. It It feels like I should use black. Do you guys have any suggestions on what color I should do that? Because I might commit to making a single ugly red chicken. And he will just sit amongst his beautiful brothers.
I decided to let YouTube show you because I am just too. But you see how it looks like it's
It does
braided.
look braided. Is this the same video that I saw? If you don't put this on 2x speed, if you
I just can't.
you can't, we're not even listening to it. Just put it on 2x
I
speed.
just can't.
We're
Why
gonna
would I
fight.
do that? Why
We're
would I
going
do
to
that?
fight.
That just seems wrong.
Because it's taking all this time so that we can hear them saying things. We're not, there's no point in hearing. Okay, so this is not the same one that I followed. Oh, okay. I like it though. Oh, so you
Yeah,
continue to go into that little second loop?
yeah, you go into that first loop and
I'll see if I can find some silver yarn, Ari. We'll see.
so it's like,
Okay.
yeah, you bring up a second loop and leave it on there, and then you just go in between there and go through the two loops. If that
Okay,
makes
so the cord that I made was different. Yes, I have a single string of yarn on hand because I was using it to sew on the eyes for the chickens, and I brought it in here thinking I was going to do some work, but I don't think I'm going to do any work while we're doing this. Hang on, let me find my crochet hook. Do I have one in my hair? I do have one in my hair.
But this all that was to say that this worked out much more quickly than me doing an I cord because it's basically just chaining.
Who is making I cords that long by hand? Once I found out how to make an I cord, and then people are like, oh, just make an I cord that's like 50, 70 rows or whatever. And I'm like, apps, you are out of your mind.
Seen my other baby sweater. It's in the Discord. I made an I cord for that.
I did not realize you made an I cord for that. I just assumed that you did a chain or doubled back on a chain or something.
Oh, I did not.
Oh my gosh. I cords are
Because in my
terrible.
brain it's a knit sweater, so in my brain it's a knit sweater, so you should do knit all the way through was my thought at the time.
I cords are so well. I don't know how to do I cords knitting. I know how to do I cords crocheting, and it is a pain in my tuchus. I hate it.
I don't know what you're talking about. A crocheted I cord.
Okay, so a crocheted I cord, I can explain this to you. So a crocheted I cord, you chain 3, right? And then you go into the second loop off the chain, pull up a loop. So you've got 2 loops on the chain on the hook, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go into the third one, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on the chain on the hook, right? Okay, then you slide those first 2 loops off of the hook and hold them. You chain with the first one, and then stick your hook back into the second loop, chain, and then do a single
you
crochet.
lost me when you said slide it off and hold them. That's
exactly. It is nonsense. I can bet you I could do one for you right now.
You might as well knit them.
I don't know how to knit them, and I was looking it up. Hang on, let me see if I can pull up the loops with this. I've got a 4mm hook right now.
Okay, I am developing a cough.
Are you allergic to streaming? Are you always coughing when we have a stream?
I felt hella tired the last 2 days, and usually that happens right before I catch a cold, and I'm like, this can't be a cold in the middle of summer. Please no.
So you've got your 2 loops, and then you take the 2 loops off, and then you yarn over and pull through the one that's on the hook, and then you stick it. You can't even see because it's black, but you stick it back through that middle loop, so you're still holding the third loop over here, and then yarn over and pull through just that second loop. So you've got, or pull through both. I mean, there we go. So you've got 1 loop on the hook, and then you stick it into the third one that's over here. You yarn over and you pull through both. It's awful. It's a thing.
Nonsense.
I don't know, but people are doing it, and it's terrible. So the way that I found out to do a cord, that I just found out that I really like, it just involves having a long tail. So you have to be able to like kind of guesstimate how long you want it, but you make your slip knot, and then I have to remember which direction to do this. You wrap the tail over, and then you pull the tail through both loops as if it's a single crochet, and then you continue, and you just continue like that. You wrap the tail over, and then you pull through both loops, and then wrap the tail over, and then pull through both loops. I just have to, the tail you wrap over it the opposite direction that I would normally wrap the yarn. But it makes like a cute little, it just makes a cute little hoard. It's in black, so you can't see any details. But
You'll have to show me that again because I want to try that.
yeah, because it makes a pretty narrow one. Not just because I'm doing a 4 millimeter, but it's just it makes it kind of narrow. But I
Mm-hmm.
like it, and I really like it because I've been trying to figure out for the longest time what to do for the ties for my bandanas. Because a lot of the bandana patterns are like just chain
Just
50
make
and
two
then
ties.
yeah, they just make two ties or just chain 50 and weave in the ends. And I'm like, where do you weave the ends into a
To a
chain?
chain. Yeah, exactly.
It's got
You
nowhere
have
to
to have more
go.
body. You have to have more body to weave in chains, weave in ends. You can't just weave it into a chain because it's gonna just come right back out.
Exactly. The fury that I feel when someone's like weave an end into a
This
chain.
is
I hate it.
how much yarn I got left.
Oh. Are you using it to make the bandana?
Yes, that was my other thing. That's the only other thing I've worked on this week, besides a little bit of coloring, is I'm making a bandana to match the baby sweater because I really did like that idea.
Are you
So
knitting it or are you crocheting it?
I'm crocheting it. I was thinking about knitting it because the sweater is knit, but the neckline of the sweater also is sorry guys. The neckline of the sweater is very bobbly.
Mm-hmm. Like a
So
crochet stitch.
so that feels almost like a crochet stitch. So I thought a crochet bandana would go okay. So this is
Also, the layman is not going to be able to tell that you knit one and crochet the other.
I know, but I will.
It's
I will.
okay. Well, what's wrong with knitting one and crocheting the other? I do not understand your hang up on this.
It's just it's a weird thing. And I don't want anybody to come for me and say that sounds neurodivergent because I don't think I'm neurodivergent. Nothing against being neurodivergent, but every time I see all these different symptoms of things, and I'm like, well, I do that, but I am not on the spectrum.
This is a conversation we'll have later in the Discord.
But one thing is that it bothers me a little bit for things to be uneven. One of the examples I gave to your Aunt Terry, which she makes fun of me all the time, is that I don't like the eggs to be uneven in the carton. So like if I ate that egg and that egg, or if I ate that egg, okay, and then I get the carton and then there's a hole here and then there's an egg here. I gotta get that egg. I can't just come over here and get that egg.
I'm not neurodivergent. I just need my eggs to match.
Shut up. Or like if there's a hole here, then it's like, okay, I want to have two eggs, but if I have two eggs, then that's going to leave a lopsided hole. So I'll just have one egg today so that there's
Move on. What does this bandana look like? We're moving on.
I also like my cash to match in my wallet. So I like them all to be like in the same direction.
I hate. Oh, I used to. One of the cashier people at it was McDonald's, I think, used to fuss at me for not facing my bills, and I'm like, you. It says one on the front. It also says one on the back.
Mm.
That hinders your counting when one says one on the front and one says one on the back. I
No,
don't.
the reason I say that I am not neurodivergent or on the spectrum is because it's not that, oh my gosh, I can't function if it's not this way. It's more that I have trouble making decisions about things. So like with the egg, going back to the egg situation, I have if I'm trying to decide how hungry am I? Am I hungry enough for one egg or am I hungry enough for two eggs? But if I do the thing, it's like, oh, I'll just take one egg to make the carton even, then that takes the decision away from me so that I don't have to overthink the decision. And then
Okay.
I'll just make one egg.
Okay. Sure.
And the and the money thing is because I have thought that I've had a certain amount of money and then gotten to the cash register and not had enough money and been so mortified. This was before debit cards existed. And
Hmm.
I've been so mortified that I always like to like if I'm standing in line and there's two people in front of me, I always take my cash out. Well, that back when I used the cash. Now it's a moot point because I have cards. But if I have to use cash, I take the cash out, make sure it's all lined up, you
Hmm.
know, $1 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills. Make sure it's all lined up so that I know for a fact I have enough money before I get up to the cash
Oh, see,
register.
I'll do that. I'll match up my like all the 20s together, all the 10s together, all the fives together. I'll do that. But I see. I thought you were talking about because the ladies at work, they would fuss at me when like I have a stack of the ones in the register, and like some of the ones are face down, some of the ones are face up, some of the ones are face down, some of the ones are face up, and I'm like, I don't understand
Okay, now
why this is an
if I'm
issue.
already arranging them by denomination, see, this is our shower thought sneaking into other areas. If I'm arranging them already by denomination, I will um go ahead and put them all face up just because I'm already arranging them. But if they are not, one face down and one face up, but all the ones are together, the world is not going to end for me like some people who are very like OCD or
Hmm.
whatever. The world is not going to end for me. But if I'm already doing it, if I'm already arranging, then I'm just going to do it.
Okay, I don't. That's an extra motion of turning my hand that I don't feel like doing.
Anyway, the pattern I'm doing is called the Pico. Here we go. It's one of those what I call hybrid patterns where it's free on the website if you can put up with all the ads,
Hmm.
or you can spend $5 and
Look at that
get a
lovely couch in
PDF,
the corner. Hmm.
to print it out. But
Oh,
this is
that's cute.
it, yeah, and once you kind of get into the rhythm of it, it's not difficult to do. Um, I still have to keep looking at the pattern. That's why it's still in the background over here because every row I have to go, okay, is this a half double crochet row? Or because it's pretty much single crochets, single crochet, what's it, single crochet, then the picot, which is the bobble
Yeah.
thing, and then another half double crochet and then a single crochet in the back loop to make it have that texture you see where it looks like it's lifted up a little bit.
Okay. Send me. Actually, put the Ravelry link for this pattern in the description, and I'll go pull it from there. Because
Okay.
I might make a few of those. Because I've just been making my Granny Square bandanas.
Mhm.
But those are. This is more like dense. The Granny Square one, you can clearly see kind of the holes in it from the
Uh-huh.
Granny Square clusters. But I would like to make a couple of these with some spare
Yeah, they're
yarn.
very cute. And
Yeah.
there's a YouTube video, of course, because everything has a video.
For the YouTube
And
girlies.
for the YouTube girlies who don't know how to read a pattern. And she's got small, medium, and large, and she showed you on
Ooh.
the website like this is on a child's head, medium on a child's head, then medium on an adult's head, and then large on an adult's head. So you get an idea of where it's going to hang in the back if
Okay.
you want full coverage or whatever. She said if you can't decide which one to do, do medium because that fits the most. Like if you don't know the size of somebody's head, do medium because that does fits the most people's heads. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. So because I don't know the size
Yeah, I default to kind of a
of
medium
my
size for my
kids.
bandanas too.
But that gives you the option so you can if you're making them for market, you can make some small kitty
Hmm.
size ones and then so
Yeah,
that
I might do that. Can
but
you
this is
vamp
where
for
I
2 seconds after
am
this? Oh, it
so
looks
far.
so good with that yarn.
Yeah, I think it does too. I think it looks really pretty with this yarn.
It looks so nice with that yarn. It
I
looks
wanted
the yarn
something
is very berry.
Yep. I wanted something that because it's a variegated yarn, you want to be able to see it. Sometimes a variegated yarn will obscure the pattern. So you don't want to
Hmm.
have too fancy a pattern because the yarn will like you won't really see the pattern. But I feel like on this you can see the pattern and still see the color of the yarn, appreciate the color of the yarn at the
I feel
same
like
time.
the colors kind of bring out the
The
texture a little bit.
bobbles, the
Hmm.
bobbles, yeah, the texture. Yeah, it's hard finding a pattern that works with a variegated yarn, but I think this one works.
All right.
But
Vamp for 2 seconds. I'm gonna go grab my other finished project out of the
well,
other room,
I'm
and I'll
going
be
to
right
talk
back.
about my coloring pages while you're gone.
Okay.
So don't be upset if you miss the coloring pages.
Mm, I will be back. I'll see them hanging up in the wall.
Yeah, these little does she know these coloring pages are not going up on the wall. This is my other page that I'm currently working on. I haven't done a lot of coloring this week because I was really trying to work on I had to with the bandana. I had to pull it out 3 times because I felt like it was getting crooked. I felt like it was I feel like I'm yelling, sorry. I felt like it was getting crooked because you start from here and then you're going up like this, and for some reason I felt like it was more on one side than on the other side because of the way you go into the point at the top, and I felt like I was just slanting it in one direction, so I took it out 3 times before I was happy with it. And I still if I look at it too hard, I still think it's a little bit longer, going from the center, I feel like it's a little bit longer on this side than it is on this side, but I am not going to fuss about it anymore. I am just going to continue. So, because of that, I didn't get much coloring done. My coloring pages for this week, the coloring pages are not works of art, so I figured we can just show these at the end every week to end our crafty segment and then go into something else.
Oh, then
So,
do you want me to show off my
oh, that's right. You have stuff to show?
yeah, it's just a couple more witch hats I finished. Um I made a rainbow one,
Oh, cool.
and this one is so this is just regular worsted. Um but it ends up working up a little bigger than this one. Also was marked as worsted, but it's a smaller size 4, I think. So
Like
it's
a
like,
like a light worsted, they call it.
yeah. So there's like, because I followed the exact same pattern, used a size 4 millimeter hook
Mhm.
on both of these, but you can see how much like bigger this
Yeah,
one
some
is.
some fibers just squish down more,
This is a very squishy.
and so they count it as a worsted because of the puff around it, but when
Mm-hmm.
you actually start to compress it, it squishes down a lot more.
Yeah, because this is the one that's it's like this is the it's kind of fuzzy. You can't really see it on the camera, but it's kind of it was that halo
Hmm.
yarn, but it's the one that's like the roving kind of wrapped around a
Yeah.
single string. And so I think that's why this one got kind of squishy. But this is almost the rest of that ombre green yarn that I was working through. I still have a little bit left, but it doesn't quite feel like enough to make a thing. So I'm making the I gotta do something about these curling edges. Um, but I'm making another witch hat with the black and gray skein, the gray Super Saver stripes skein. And
Hmm.
my plan is to make that one, and it'll look kind of like stone. And then I'm going to use what's left over of the green yarn, and I'm going to do probably a loop stitch and then cut the loops and make it like moss and just make moss
Hmm.
patches and sew moss on. And I found a pattern for mushrooms, and so I'll make a few shelf mushrooms to put on it. I think it'll look cute. It's going to be much more expensive than my other hats, but I think it'll look cute. And I think I might
Hmm.
solely put that one up on Etsy. We'll see.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, I have a vision.
You have a vision. Okay, well, as I said, the coloring pages each week, since these are not fine art, I figure we can just show them at the end of each um, crafty segment just to segue into something else. This is one I told you I'm still working out of this book, and I like
Mm-hmm.
to if I can tell what it is, I like to do more than one color, but I had no idea what this was, so I only did one color and I still don't know what it is. I ended up using three different red markers for this. That was the other thing. I'm finally starting to run out of colors in my markers. And you
Hmm.
can tell more on the camera what it is because it looks like a big mass of dots when you look at it in person. But I noticed looking at it on camera, it looks almost like pine cones.
It does kind of look like pine
So I
cones.
think maybe it's pine cones.
Yeah. I
But
think so too.
you can't see that in person. I can only see it now looking at it through the camera lens.
Oh, that's weird. It's
I
like
can't see it in person
it's
at
like a
all.
magic eye.
Yeah, I can't see that in person at all. In person it looks like dots. And the other one, I need to just put a check in the bottom page of this one so I know that I've already showed this one. And the other one I am doing, I'm not finished with this one yet, but this is the other one I worked on this week.
What's a crab?
Yeah, I think it's a crab. It looks way more crabby in the camera than it does in person.
Mm.
But that's what I'm finishing up this week. So, so that's all the coloring I've got. Hopefully this coming week, since I'm probably going to be off on Monday and Tuesday, I will either work on some needlework or maybe I'll work on coloring another picture because I'm starting to get the urge to get my Quirkles book back out.
Mm-hmm. That's me responding to Ari.
Okay. Because I see the AR in front, I'm going, what is Ari working on that commissions? Because my brain just said AR equals Ari,
You did not look at the picture at
and
all.
I didn't look at the rest of it. Okay, so it is now time for us to talk about our media consumption,
All right.
and we've already been going for 2 hours,
We
but
have.
we'll try to zip through some of these because this list is getting long.
Yeah,
So
some
we
of
need
these
to
look like just quick points.
Yeah, I think they are quick points. So let's just go in order, and um, whoever's it is.
Mm,
Make sense?
sounds good.
Okay, TikTok.
TikTok.
For some reason, remember that for those who don't know, I watch TikTok every night before I go to bed. It's part of my nightly routine, like wind down before I go to bed. And I am a person that if I don't like follow a routine and I try to just lay down and go straight to bed, then I wake up in the middle of the night or I have trouble falling asleep. It's weird. So TikTok is part of my nighttime routine. And but so that I don't stay up forever, because TikTok ages ago started introducing these things, these wellness videos, I think they call them, where they're basically saying, "Hey, you've been scrolling for a while. Why don't you go get a glass of water, have a snack, go touch some grass?"
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. And so I have always taken it as my signal. I go in a certain order. I watch the videos that Maya has sent me. Then I watch the videos of people that I already subscribe to. Once I start to get to videos that are more than a day or two old, then I switch back over to my For You page, the FYP, and then I just watch random videos till that
Mm-hmm.
video comes up, because I don't get that go to bed video
On the
until,
following page.
yeah, I only get it on the FYP page.
Okay.
So I do the FYP last. And they came up with one. They usually had the same two or three that they would do, and they came up with one that was animated with these zombie
Yes, I
thumbs
remember that one.
about going to bed. Well, I've been getting the zombie thumbs for like 3 months.
Me too. I thought it was just like around the Halloween time, or like they just changed. They
Uh-huh.
kept that one for a while.
I had the zombie thumbs every night. I was like, oh, so I guess I'm just never going to get these other people again. I guess the zombie thumbs are just it. And then about a week ago, all of a sudden, I got the headspace lady again, where the black lady
Ooh,
was like, "Are
does she still
you?"
have her silk press?
Yeah, she still had her silk press. So now I'm getting every night either the headspace lady with the silk press or the animated headspace where it's like,
Oh,
breathe in, breathe out,
I haven't seen that one.
breathe in, breathe out, feel better. Now it's time for bed.
I have not seen that
You
one.
not gotten that one? And
No.
I breathe in and out with it every time. And then I turn Netflix off. I mean TikTok off. But
I also have
I'm
not been
just
getting on
glad.
TikTok a super much.
I'm just glad. Well, because you're usually working during the time that we used to get on TikTok. We used to be on TikTok at the same time, viewers.
Hmm.
And I would send her stuff and she'd watch it right away and then send it back to me, send me comments back and stuff. So it's kind of weird. But so I'm just happy that I got a different video. I like getting different videos for my
Yeah,
bedtime. I was getting tired of the zombie thumbs.
same.
Okay. Barbecue Showdown season 2.
What is
We
this?
just your father and I have been watching that. We watched season 1. We were very glad to see season 2 come up, and we watched. If you like cooking shows, it's on Netflix, and they have changed their host. They used to have the guy who hosts The Floor Is Lava as the host, and he was
Hmm.
okay. But now they have Michelle Buteau, the
Who's that?
comedian who also does the voiceover commentary on The Circle. She is hella funny to me,
Okay.
and she also has a stand-up special on Netflix called Bootopia. And what happened to what? Oh, the Farmer
Yeah. What happened
Show.
to Mr. North Carolina?
Oh, you want to know about the Farmer Show? Mr. North Carolina. Okay, we're taking a sidetrack. Farmer wants a wife. Farmer
Yeah,
takes
because
a wife.
we never caught up on that. What happened to Mr. North
Farmer
Carolina?
takes a wife. Mr. North Carolina ended up with nobody. Nobody. Okay, when we last left Mr. North Carolina, he had the girl from was it him? No, not him. He had the one girl. Yes, he had the girl from California who sounded vaguely Hispanic, even though her parents are white. I suspected she was adopted, but whatever. Um, because they show them going back to meet the families. And he kind of had her, but then as he's visiting her, he decides, you know what? I really wanted that girl who I sent home 2 weeks ago. I made a mistake sending her home. Okay. So
He's a dog.
so California girl says, "You know what? I can tell that you don't want me." And then he had a girl in New York, and he had the other girl he sent home who also happened to live in New York. Okay. So while he was visiting New York girl, who he hadn't sent home, he called New York girl that he did send home
He's a
and say
dog.
and say, "While I'm here, can you come visit me? I made a mistake." So New York girl that he didn't send home, soon as she got back to New York for the visit the family section, was like, "Oh hell no, I can't move to North Carolina. I gotta stay here. No, where he lives is too country for me." So as
Out
soon
in the
as
middle of
they
nowhere.
met up, he was like, she was like, "No, you know what? I gotta stay in the city. I cannot go be with you."
Hmm.
So we're just gonna cut this short and not even pretend. And that's the thing I liked about this show is that the people say, they don't like drag it out necessarily for drama. I mean, there's a few things that were for drama, but a lot of times the girls could decide right away, you know what, I don't want to be here, I'm going home. It wasn't like they have to wait for a rose ceremony and wait to be eliminated. Anytime you wanted to go, go. You can tell them, you know what, I'm done, I'm going. And so she's like, you know what, nope. And then so he's like, well, maybe other New York girl who I sent home earlier will meet with me. And she first didn't answer his calls, and then finally answered his calls, met up with him, and it was like, you know what? Nope.
Ooh,
And so he went home
rough,
with nobody. After kissing
rough,
everybody, he went home with nobody.
rough. That's what you get for being a dog.
But I hope they do this show again next year because it was fun. I would watch it again.
I love hearing about it. I don't know if I would actually watch the show, but I love. There are some shows that I really like just hearing people's retelling of them.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I feel about people ranting about what's the show with all the wives where he was in Las Vegas or
Oh,
Sister Wives.
yes.
When people rant about Sister Wives, that's mildly interesting to me, but I have no desire to watch Sister Wives.
Yeah, that I watched a deep dive video about that show. About it was like a girl telling her husband about the show, which I love those
Uh-huh.
videos of like
Uh-huh.
people telling their spouse about something that they're interested in that they have no idea, and so it's like us catching
Yep.
up as well. Ooh, it was crazy.
I've only seen a few videos like that, but yeah, I like that kind of video.
Yeah.
Okay, so Barbecue Showdown is basically it's filmed in Georgia, and it is basically a cooking show. But I mean, for those who don't know, there is a barbecue circuit in North Carolina where I'm not in North Carolina, in the United States, where there are competitions to see how well you barbecue, how well you barbecue ribs, how well you can barbecue a whole hog, how well you can, do different things. And so this show is kind of like a version of that, and they have the two judges are people who normally judge on these barbecue circuits, who have gone through the barbecue circuit themselves and won prizes, and now they are judges. And they're both country, and they are very straightforward, more straightforward than other cooking shows where
Mm.
they tend to be a little more polite or whatever. They're very, they say things like, these ribs make you want to slap your mama, and things like that. So I just wanted and I mean, not saying a whole lot, just that they changed the judge of the show. I'm not the judge of the show, the host of the show. That makes it a little bit more, she's a little bit more fun of a host than the other people.
Yeah, having a
So
boring host for a show could fully just break the show.
yeah.
Like,
So Barbecue Showdown, this is more of me giving a rundown of kind of what we watched and give you
mhm.
an idea, not necessarily recap blow by blow kind of things. But Barbecue Showdown, if you've never watched that, that's fun. Outlast. This is a new show on Netflix. It is a competition show where there are 12 people who are in Alaska.
I just got a message from my babysitting mom. I need to. It's a voice message, so I need to listen to it. So I'm going to mute myself, but I'm here.
Okay. So Outlast, it is a competition show where 12 people go to Alaska, and they need to last, but unlike, which makes it sound similar to another show called Alone. But with Alone, as the title suggests, you have to stick it out, be the last one standing, but you're there by yourself. There's nobody helping you. This is, you have to be the last your group has to be the last one standing. So you cannot win a contest by yourself. You have to have at least a partner. Okay, so it has to be at least two people, or it can be like a group of five people or whatever. But they start out divided up into groups of four. So there's 12 people, so four groups of four. and they and I don't know how to explain it other than there were some evil people. There was one group, the Alpha group, it was like Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta. And the Alpha group, those people never got along with each other. They were backbiting against other people. And we thought for they were just evil. They were just evil. At first, you watch it and you think, "Oh, this is not going to be very exciting." But then when you start seeing how evil some of the women are in the Alpha group, then you're like, "Oh, oh, this is heating up." Your father was yelling at his wife, so that might be if you like survivalist shows. I'm not going to give it away just in case you want to watch it
Mm.
because it's still there on Netflix. But if you like survivalist shows, there's about I think it's 8 episodes,
Okay.
8 episodes and out. It's eight, not more than 10. I know that. And it's interesting. And there's some people that make you want to throw a shoe at the TV.
Ooh, love it.
Okay, Perfect Match on Netflix. Ronald and I talked about this before because Ronald had watched a little bit of it. I'm just mentioning that to say I lost interest. I tried to go back and finish watching it, and it's just too much of. I don't. I think I've gotten either too old or too jaded or too something to enjoy um, dating. A dating show has to be a particular kind of dating show for me to enjoy it. Okay. These people, I don't know, there was just something about it that I just didn't enjoy. And so kind of like that other one, Dated and Related, where I had started watching that. And then I forgot that I didn't finish it. I watched it while had COVID, and then as soon as COVID was done and I could get out of the bed, I forgot all about that show. It just wasn't. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Um,
Ooh, Ari said he's lost Netflix on his TV, but not on his phone. Are you using like are you sharing a Netflix account with somebody and they've like kicked you out because of the new Netflix thing? We could actually let's jump to that bullet point real quick because that was just a very quick bullet point. Where was it?
okay.
Netflix giving
Yeah.
notifications of me and Petty. It is so irritating because I have Netflix on my phone and they did this whole big to do about you can't watch Netflix when you're in different places. And so I know that Netflix probably knows that you are the home location for the
Uh-huh.
Netflix. I am not in the home location for the Netflix. So why are you giving me notifications about new shows and new episodes for this thing showing up when you know I can't watch it? Petty is what it is. Petty and money grabbing.
Also, it's giving you notifications on your phone?
Yes, I still get notifications on my phone of like, oh, there's a new season of blah, blah, blah. And have you watched blah, blah, blah? It's new Netflix and blah, blah, blah is showing up on June 14th. And, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, don't do that to me. So rude. It is so rude.
Yeah, your sister already went ahead,
Family made their place the home location and didn't skip it. Yeah. So you are booted
yeah.
out.
Well, Chloe, I mean, one of your sisters, not Chloe, the other one,
Mm-hmm.
she got the notification and at first and it was like, "Oh, are you traveling?" Because we had all skipped the thing about setting your location.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, "Are you traveling?" And it said, and she said, and she texted me and she said, "Can I say that I'm you and I'm traveling?" And I said, "Sure." And it sent me a code, and I sent her the code, and she did it, and that worked one time. But then the next time, it's like, "Okay, we know you're not traveling."
Rude. What if I am an
Or
international
or
man of mystery?
or you've used up, or it said something like you've used up all your traveling allowance or some crap.
I didn't realize I had flying miles that I was only allowed to use.
So then she finally texted me and was like, can you just add me as an extra member?" And I'm like, "Well, if I add you as an extra member, I have to pay an extra $8 a month."
Mm-hmm.
And so bottom line, she's gonna go ahead and pay
And pay
me
you $8 a month. Yeah,
and
because I
pay me
think they
because
watch more
because
Netflix than any of us.
because the big difference is because she could pay $8 a month and have her own account, but $8 a month for her own account is um ads, and it's in standard definition.
Oh gosh.
We all have high def TVs. I think they've got 4K TVs. So going back to standard definition is like going back to watching TV in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched some stuff that's only in standard definition and I'm like, "Oh my god." Rubbing my eyes, making sure I don't have to put it
Why
on my
is it
eye.
fuzzy?
Why is it so
Why
blurry?
is it fuzzy like that?
And I usually think that I don't care about the definition, but sometimes you watch some of this older stuff and it's like, oh no, we've gone too far back into history. But so yeah, if she stays on my account and pays me the $8, then it's she still, but she can only do it on one television.
Okay.
So
So our profiles are still
I
on your.
meant to talk to you about that, by the
You're
way. So
fine. Y'all are about to just hear all our family business.
I guess we're talking about it now.
Yep, y'all
'Cause
about to hear all our family business. So our profiles are still on your Netflix profile, right?
yep. So
Okay.
you can, what you can do, since you don't share a profile, she went ahead and started a new account with a new profile because she shares a profile with Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
And so she left the all the viewing history, because if you start a new profile, you're not taking your viewing history and queuing
All your
everything
stuff is
for you.
gone.
So she left the whole viewing history and everything with Chloe.
Okay.
And so she
Yeah.
started her own. But since you don't share your profile with anybody, you
I mean,
could
it's me and
just
Wayne, but Wayne's not making his own profile.
so you could, if you start your own account, you can just suck that profile over and still have your queue and everything.
Oh well,
But
no,
you
no,
will, but
that's
you
not what
will
I was
get
thinking.
ads.
No, that's not what I was thinking. I was wondering if, like, if a show comes on Netflix that we really want to watch, could we like pay you $8 for like 2 months and then you like cancel it? Are you able to like turn it off and turn it on easily?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because that sounds like, because $8 isn't that bad, but I don't want to
Mhm.
consistently pay it if we're not watching that much Netflix.
Yeah.
But like we used to do for Game of Thrones, whenever Game of Thrones showed up, and then we just kept HBO Max. But like we used to do for Game of Thrones was we would just get HBO Max during the Game of Thrones season and then cut it off after the season was over.
That's the other thing. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say, because you are paying for the Hulu and the HBO Max, which we do watch the Hulu. We should maybe just go ahead and pay for your Netflix, but I don't know how we're gonna work that out. Y'all don't need to hear about that, YouTube audience.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
figure this
we'll,
out later.
we'll figure that out later.
Chloe, cut that
But
out. I just love referencing Chloe.
Yeah, really keep referencing Chloe because she's not gonna edit a blasted thing. Okay, Role Playing is a book that I just recently read by Kathy Yardley. It's coming out on tomorrow. It's going to be released tomorrow. I read it for free through Amazon's. Um, it wasn't part of my Kindle Unlimited, but they have a thing where you read. Um, it's first reads where a book is
Mhm.
about to come out and they let you go ahead and read it before it's actually been released as part of your Prime. Why are
Mhm.
you giving me
Because
not side eye, but
you read nasty books, and this book is called Role Playing.
I do not.
You
And
read you read nasty books, and this book is called Role Playing.
okay, this book does not have all of my usual stuff in it.
Ooh, time out. Hang on. Ronald said, "All right, I got the game set up for tonight, and I got 4 ball jars of pickles made." Ronald's been making
Pickles.
pickles. Ronald's been doing
See,
stuff.
see, we keep people company. That's what we're here for. We keep you company while you do stuff.
Ronald's been working. And
Keep you
Ari said,
company.
Ari, you're not about to sit here and listen to our family business. Maybe join the Discord. Maybe we'll talk around the Discord later. We're not talking about this on Beyonce's internet or whatever the people say.
But anyway, role playing, I would recommend it. I gave it 5 stars for anybody. I know Ronald doesn't read romance, although this is romance light because this is really people. This is all about them kind of making friends. Yes, you hear our business on Sundays. Shut up, Ari. Um, both of both the male lead is in his 50s. The female lead is like 48. And so that's number one. Most of the books I read are
Or
like,
like 30 somethings, 20
yeah,
somethings.
30 something would be nice. Usually it's like, oh, I'm 25. I'm getting so old.
Oh, what am I?
You know, but yeah, I see you, Ari. Quit trying to
Ari's about
distract.
to jump onto our Netflix. He got kicked out of his, so he's jumping on ours.
But it's two people who are having trouble making friends, and so they make friends through their MMO gaming group situation. And
Oh, that actually sounds
they
interesting.
yeah, it is interesting, and it's not this is an author. She writes a lot of stuff that's like geek related and older characters. And I had wanted to read her before, but her stuff had not been available on Kindle Unlimited until now. Her whole geek related series is called Level Up, and it's available on Kindle Unlimited now.
Hmm.
So, and her book role playing I read with, but it's so hard to find a book with a romance with older
I can
heroines
imagine.
and heroes that are like in my age group. And the the sex in this book is low. Okay.
I
To
need Chloe to
me,
make a graphic while you're talking about books, and there's like like just check marks of like, are they older or are they younger? Are they white or are they any other race? And then like a meter of like how much sex.
oh, and she
Are
and
they
she's and, she,
human?
and she's biracial. She's her mother was Asian.
Oh snap!
So that's a good one too. Oh,
But you
well,
know she
it's
didn't say it was zero.
if you hear me say
Never
if
zero.
you hear me say inspirational romance, that means it was zero. Okay. This was
That's a
low,
Christian
which
romance.
means there is like one sex scene and it takes a while to get to it in the book, which is fine. To me, if you go past two sex scenes in the book, I'm skimming past the sex to get to the rest of the story.
Mm.
So, two sex scenes is fine. Three
I
or
just
more is
picture you in
excessive.
this book, like, and he grabbed her, okay, and she touched his, okay, and she licked, yeah, okay, scrolling through.
I bookmark nothing, Ronald. I bookmark nothing. I like to there's either story or there's not story, but we're not going to go into that right now because I don't want to be too inappropriate for you children.
Maybe we'll have
But
that
that
on
was a good book.
the Discord.
Okay, so you finished Living Single.
Yes, I finished Living Single. I watched all of it. I am realizing that I just don't like the final seasons of like sitcoms like that because they do a lot of like,
Wrapping up.
yes, but it's like it feels like a lot happens in a little bit of time where some of these things could have been wrapped up like previously. Oh, I joined the Discord, but I forgot what I was supposed to post on there. Oh, you can. Oh, you were supposed to post some of your diamond paintings. That's what I wanted to see with some of your diamond paintings. Um, but it's so yeah. In sitcoms, it feels like they spend a lot of time like piddling and doing back and forth and blah blah blah. And then in the last season, which the last season of Living Single was so much shorter than the other seasons. The other seasons were like 24 episodes. The final season was like 13 episodes. And so
Because I think they were about to cancel it anyway.
oh, okay, okay.
Was the
Yeah. Because
situation.
they were like, rap, 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 rap. They wrapped that sucker up fast. It was pretty good. This is about to be spoilers for Living Single, so if you haven't watched it, maybe come back and like
In 20 years.
yeah, if you have not watched it in the last 20 years, maybe come back in like 5-10 minutes after I'm done talking about this. But I enjoyed it. It felt like on the subject of sex, it felt like this show talked more about sex than Friends. This show was definitely more like it was mentioned, it feels like almost every episode, whereas Friends, I feel like they would definitely go like one, maybe two episodes without like, there was always Joey who was like, let me find a lady, how you doing? But like they didn't like imply it as much as like, oh, Joey is seeing a lady versus like, oh, we're like doing the freaky deaky. Like it, I don't know. I feel like they were talking more about sex in that one, but I did really enjoy it. I think once I got through like the first season and a half or so, I stopped disliking Kyle because we had a conversation. I can't remember if it was on stream. I don't think it was, but we had a conversation about how Kyle puts on. Ronald said he used to love Living Single. How Kyle would put on this like, I am a very fancy man and I am so much better than everyone voice, as opposed to his normal speaking voice, which he does use his normal speaking voice in the show. So I'm like, okay, so this is not just the voice they are doing for that character, because he has a normal speaking voice that he uses with his friends, but then he will also use the I am better than you, I am so aristocratic voice. But it feels like he started to use that voice a little bit less as the show went on. And so he stopped bothering me as much. Because that was and then I kept going back and forth on Khadijah, which is Queen Latifah's character. I kept going back and forth on her character because she, at first I was like, okay, yeah, she's the independent woman and she started this magazine in the household, blah, blah, blah. And then there were so many episodes where like she would do something wrong. Ooh, notifications. She would do something wrong and then like, but she would refuse to admit that she did something wrong until we got to like close to the end of the episode. And then she like realized that she has done a wrong thing, but would not apologize. She's like, there were so many like, and it's the bit, but the bit is like bad. Like be a good person and apologize. Cause she was like, y'all know I'm not real good at apologizing. And they're like, yeah, we know. And then they sit in silence and she's like, all right, so y'all want to go get some pizza? Like that was the apology. Which is like, okay, that's funny for a bit once or twice, but like, these are your friends that you're trying to live with? Apologize. Like,
yeah, see, you can get away with that. You can get away with that back in the 90s, but now, even though you're not Gen Z, you are younger and you're like, okay, in this enlightened world in the year of our Lord 2023, that non-apology is not going to fly.
yeah. I know this is wrong, but everything Queen Latifah does just gives me lesbitarian. But lesbitarian?
Probably because she is a lesbitarian.
Lesbitarian? Is this just a silly word we're using for lesbian now? Is this what this is, or is this a thing that I know?
I'm just following Ronald.
Okay, because I know that she's a Ladala Bean, but was she out then? Was she?
She wasn't out there. I mean, she might have been out with her family or whatever, but I don't think she was out to the TV viewing public back then.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering that the whole time when I was watching the show, because there was an episode with some little lesbianists. There was an episode with some Ladala Beans, because Max's like college roommate comes back and she's like, oh, we're having the wedding up here and I want you to be part of the bridal party or whatever. And Max is like, sweet, so when do we get to meet Alex? Thinking that it's a man, turns out it's a woman. And Max is like losing her mind. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And it was this whole like, she was just mad because she wasn't told back in the day. It wasn't like she was mad that she was lesbian. She was mad she wasn't told back in the day. But yeah, so I was wondering that whole time, because I was like, where are we at? But it was a good show. I did really enjoy it. I did not like the wrapping up at the end, because they like, it felt like we made some leaps. I was like, we got to the point where Obi and Sinclair were getting married. Mm-hmm. We got to the point where Obi and Sinclair were getting married, And so they had their wedding, and I'm like, oh, the show's gonna be wrapping up soon because the show is called Living Single, and we have someone that is permanently not single now. The show is gonna be wrapping up soon. So they got married, and then Kyle moved to London for his job, and so I was like, what's gonna happen with Kyle and Max? They gotta bring, but they cut him out of the, like we were talking last week about, if you want me to believe this person is gone, cut him out of the title card. They cut him out of the title card, and I was like, is he gone for real? And they replaced him with the new guy that's living in the house. Since Sinclair moved out to go live with Obi, they were the new guy living in the house. Imagine being this man who's like, oh, I'm going to be in this new great show, Living Single, and you're there for 13 episodes. They don't even get to know your character. I would have been like, it was good, but I would have been pissed.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, because you and your sister are both fans of Friends, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing my job. I don't normally police the whole blackness stuff, but I'm not doing my job if y'all are sitting here fangirling over Friends and you have not watched Living Single. So I had to do my job and make sure y'all watched that, and I harangued you until you watched it. Now we just need to bug your sister.
Yeah, because it's good. Just the end is whew.
Living Single is still available on Hulu, and for those who don't know, Friends is on Max. Whatever. I never could get into Friends. I just couldn't. Okay, Dungeons and Drag Queens. Has it started yet? I almost went for it yesterday and I forgot.
It has not started yet. I don't think it's. I'm pulling up my thing right now because I feel like I would have gotten a notification on I was about to say Discord on Dropout, but where's my Dropout? But I don't think that it started yet. But I've been seeing Did we show
the trailer to Dungeons and Drag Queens last week?
I don't think we did. I don't. Oh, it's out. Chloe's watched it because I see the little bar because we all share Chloe's Dropout. Chloe's watched it. The first 2 episodes are out. Or it looks like oh no, the first episode is out, and then they've got a talk back. So the first episode is out. It's 2 hours, and then they've got a talk back that's 25 minutes.
Hours. Well, maybe I'll watch that tonight because your father's working till 10, which means he won't be home till about 11 or 11:30. So maybe I'll watch that tonight.
Oh, I just had to look at the chat. Yeah. Oh, Ari said yes, it has. Oh, Ari's the one that's watched it because Ari is also on Chloe's Dropout. Because Dropout.
I didn't realize Ari really was part of the family. Excuse me.
Well, Dropout specifically came out and said when Netflix first started this stuff of like we don't want you sharing blah blah blah, and Dropout fully made I think a TikTok video and then like and maybe mentioned it on one of their Dropout things on their actual website. They're like, hey, just in light of all of this Netflix stuff that's coming out, if you've got friends that want to watch Dropout and can't afford it and you've got it, go ahead and give them your password. Like they fully said for you to share Dropout with people because they just want people to watch it. So Ari watched it. Ronald says there was a watch party among my group, so I think it has. Ooh, so have you watched it, Ronald? I didn't realize Ronald was watching anything on Dropout. Ooh, this is exciting. I haven't seen it, so nobody give me spoilers, but I am so excited. Because all the queens that are there, I love Bob the Drag Queen, and Bob I didn't watch on RuPaul, but I did. I have been following Bob on their like stuff on like social media stuff because Bob is hilarious. And then Jujubee, I watched Jujubee's season, and I think I also watched Alaska's season before I stopped watching RuPaul because I just kind of fell out of interest a little bit because I just wasn't in the mood for the drama at the time. But I watched, I think, both Jujubee and Alaska seasons. And Jujubee was one of my favorites. So I am so excited. Ari says it's good and funny.
Well, I'll have to check that out tonight. Okay. You paid for a Patreon?
I did actually pay for a Patreon. I have been, before we get all like crazy and stuff, is it's $5 a month. And I'm probably going to be canceling it soon. Not because I don't like it, but because like I have listened to everything on it. And so I'm going to cancel it for a while and maybe get it back and listen to more stuff later. But because I'm still in the first month of it. But I have been listening. We were talking last week and I think the week before. Oh, hang on. Ari said, oh, guess what? Monet Exchange was a Phi Mu Alpha brother. And he went all-star. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize Monet was the Phi Mu Alpha brother. Ari is in Phi Mu Alpha, which is the men's like music fraternity or whatever. When we were in college, I did not realize that Monet was a brother. That's crazy. But Worlds Beyond Number, which we were talking about last week and I think the week before, which is Brennan Lee Mulligan, Abria Iyengar, Lou Wilson, and Erica Ishii. Because they're all just besties. They're like, we're going to create the storytelling world together. I have almost caught up on the show, but when I was first listening, I listened to, they had, and some of this might go over your head because some of this is going to be like D&D talk, but so they did a little preamble game introducing their characters as kids, and then they jump ahead to when their characters are adults. But in that jump, in that little gap there, on the Patreon, they have an 8-episode children's adventure where they are building their characters, which is something that I've not seen before. Like the things that they do in that children's adventure changes the like stats that their character has later on when they're playing the proper adventure as adults. And it is, and I originally wasn't going to listen to it. I didn't listen to it at first. And just skipped ahead to the first episode and was like, well, they made it knowing that some people aren't going to listen to the Patreon, so it'll probably be fine, like listening, and I'm probably not going to miss it. But when you're reading a book and they like reference something from another book that you hadn't read, and they're like, don't worry, it's not canon, it's not part of the book, but it was that feeling of that you're missing something. That feeling of because they were talking about
that from your mother. Some people can read things out of order. Your father can watch TV shows out of order. I'm like, no.
It's not for me.
No, I have to watch it in order. I have that feeling. I feel it in the back of my head that we are watching.
You feel like there's an inside joke that you're not in on.
Exactly.
And so, because they did reference a couple times, but not so much that you really needed to listen, but they were like, oh yeah, that sword that we got from Grandmother Wren's cottage. And I'm like, when was there a sword? When did this happen? Blah, blah, blah. And so I did the $5, went back to the Patreon, listened to the entire Kids Adventure in like 2 days. Because I listen to, that's all I do when I'm at work, as long as I'm not working with the coworker who refuses to acknowledge that I have headphones on. I just listened to today was rough because we were working longer than we were supposed to. And this is out on the public internet. I'm just going to keep my shit talking to myself. But sorry, I'm just looking across my room and realizing that one of my babysitting girls forgot her water bottle here. But I went back and listened to the Kids Adventure. So good. Like the end of the Kids Adventure, I was at work putting away boxed cake mixes and nearly in tears. Like it's because all of them are very good storytellers. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them are very good storytellers. And so doing this together, they will fully do they will lean into because I think when people play D&D and they're not really storytellers, they're just playing to play a thing. They just want all the good things to happen. I want to be super strong. I want to beat the bad guy. I want to get the girl. I want to get the money. Like they just want the things. But when storytellers play D&D, they're like, what would be really cool is if I went to go do the thing, but my parents were dead before I got there. Like they will lean into the tragedy of things because it makes a good story. And so I was like, my heart, you can't do this to me. It's so good. The Kids Adventure is really good. And then they have on the Patreon only, they have talkback episodes for each episode that they do where they discuss did you think that you guys were going to get into this argument during the episode? And was it really hard to come up with this character? And how did you guys make this certain mechanic for this thing? And so all of that's really fun to listen to too. I've been listening to that instead of listening to the last 2 episodes that have come out because I don't want to be caught up.
Well, I've got the podcast. I've got the first episode saved, to my Your Episodes thing on Spotify, but I haven't listened to it yet.
listen
I
to
listened
it.
to the intro where they were talking about, okay, this is what this show is going to be, and this is what we're going to do, and I found all that boring, so I
Oh yeah,
said
skip that.
I'll skip ahead to the next thing where they actually start the story.
Yeah, go straight to the
So,
kids like prologue thing.
but I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, because that stuff is interesting for like me as a D&D player to
Mhm.
know like how
That's
they're
what
going to
I
be
was
doing this stuff.
thinking. If you're a person who plays D&D, it's probably more interesting to you, but I just wanted to hear the story part.
Yeah, if you listen to the story, it really fully like because I know that some of the other D&D stuff probably like feels like you're kind of missing something because you don't know how to play D&D. This fully like every once in a while there will be like rolling of numbers and blah blah, but this really feels more like just a collaborative storytelling as opposed to people playing D&D, which I think you'll enjoy.
Okay, so that was about worlds. What's it called again?
Worlds be This is the sound of worlds beyond number. That's how they open
Worlds
their episode.
Worlds Beyond Number. You can listen to it wherever you stream your streaming stuff.
Yeah.
Like Spotify is where I listen to stuff. I
Yeah,
can't tell.
Spotify and I think Google Podcasts.
Okay, Stars on Mars.
What's that?
Stars on Mars. I have to preface this. I never would have found this show because I don't watch regular TV anymore, so I don't get those commercials that tell you about upcoming TV shows. Even though we still pay for cable, again, I told you we're grandfathered into that package where everything's rolled together.
Mm-hmm.
So the last time I tried to just do cable, I mean just do internet and get rid of the cable and the phone thing. Yeah.
My laptop is dying. I've got 4%. I forgot that I moved in here without my charger. I will be right back.
Okay.
Jesus.
But the last time as I was saying, the last time I tried to unbundle, as you say, our cable thing. We have such an old grandfathered in package that if I tried to just go to internet by itself and get rid of the other stuff, we'd be paying more than we're paying now, and we're already paying an absurd amount. Um, and they're the only cable game in town, or else we would just switch to somebody else. I mean, the only internet game in town, or else we would just switch to somebody else. But So, but we have cable, but we hardly ever watch cable. Our cable is used pretty much to, um, when there's some services that say you can have free access to this through your cable subscription, then we say, oh yes, we have cable through Spectrum, and that lets us get on to the TLC or CW or whatever thing that makes us have a cable subscription, but we hardly ever watch cable. And quite honestly, I mean, they sent us a box and we had to replace the box the other day, but quite honestly, we hardly ever use the box because the other day when I watched something on cable, since we have a Roku television, you have that app through the Roku that lets you watch Spectrum through the Roku without hooking up an extra box. And so I just, rather than have switch remotes and use the box to watch something on local television, I just go to the Spectrum app and do it that way because it's just easier. So, as I was saying, Maya, can you hear me? Put your thumbs up. Can you hear me? Okay. As I was saying, I would not have found out about this show because I don't watch regular television and see all the commercials. But I do follow someone on TikTok. Um, I forget what her tagline is. It's something like, "My name is Jock, and if you can't think of what to watch on television, I got you." And then she'll tell you she's like a human TV guide. Every day she does a video and says, "Tonight there's going to be an episode of this. This is going to be the final episode of this. This is going to be this. I mean, she doesn't tell you every single thing, but it's like if there's a new episode of something being posted on such and such a day, or then she has her certain shows that she follows. So she doesn't say everything, but she often mentions shows. I keep following her, even though it's kind of monotonous to hear her list a bunch of shows. I keep following her because often she tells me about a show that I did not know existed. And this was one of the cases, Stars on Mars. I heard her mention it, and I happened to see on my FYP a clip from Stars on Mars with two of the people talking to each other. I'm like, what the heck is this show? And then she mentioned it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna check this out. Stars on Mars is a reality show.
Hmm.
It's similar to the setup, I think the best comparison to it would be um Celebrity Big Brother,
Okay.
where everybody is in a house and stuff.
Hmm.
Except I like this better because I stopped watching Big Brother. I haven't watched Big Brother since the very first season, and that's like 20, 25 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I have not watched Survivor since the very first season, which was 20, 25 years ago. I remember those came out the same season. We watched them both. It was kind of interesting. We never went back to watch again. It just wasn't. th- Your father likes a competition show, but he doesn't
Hmm.
like a show like a show that has a bunch of drama. So
Okay.
so he saw the clips from Stars on Mars and said this is not him. So I watched it myself. But it's on regular TV on Fox. But also, if you or as Jock says, you can watch it tonight on Fox or the next day on Hulu.
Mm.
It's on Hulu and it's also on Tubi.
Okay.
On Tubi, you get it free, but it's got commercials.
Okay.
Okay, Ronald, don't be talking about sirens because my husband will not watch that.
What
Okay,
is sirens?
we're going to sidetrack into sirens because he mentioned it. Okay, I can't get my husband to watch it because there is no English dub, Ronald, and he will not watch a show with subtitles because it distracts him. I said to him, I said, this is a show that has a lot of action, so you can just watch the action and you don't really need to hear what they're saying. Okay. But he just got distracted. He does not have I've raised my children to watch shows with subtitles. Okay. So they have developed the skill that I have, which is you can see the action on the screen and still read the subtitles at the bottom and not really miss anything. You can do them both at the same time. My husband does not have that skill. So if he is reading what's on the screen, reading down at the bottom, he misses all of this up here. So he just can't he can't do both.
Mm.
It's something about the way he compartmentalizes things, I think, in his brain because he also listens to music and does not hear the words
Hmm.
unless he really focuses purposely to hear the words. If he is just randomly listening to the radio, then the person singing is pretty much like you can
Like another
equate,
instrument?
yeah, like another instrument. The person singing might as well be a piano or a saxophone because they're just making musical sounds out of their mouth. They're not words to him unless he tries really hard to hear the words and then he doesn't hear the music.
Hmm.
But anyway, Sirens is, as Ronald said, it is a competition show with all women. It's a Korean competition show, and it's broken up into teams. There's four women on each team, and they're broken up by competition by job. Like yeah, see, he's explaining it all. Why do I even have to say anything?
Ronald's got
It's
it covered. We need to pull Ronald onto the stream.
and so it's like capture the flag. They're on an island in the jungle. Everybody's got a different like place that they're living in, whether it's a tent or like a tree house or a whatever. And it's not, but they're not like all lined up together. Like you're on one part of the island and you're way over here and then you're way over here. And they're sneaking into each other's
Like
um
base camp.
base camps to steal their flag. There is a flag for the whole team, but then also each individual person has a flag that they keep on them at all times, like stuck in their backpack or whatever that's on their back.
Hmm.
And so you can eliminate an individual person even if you don't get the whole team.
That feels like the way to go is cut everybody out of one team and then take their flag.
And so, and he watched, we watched Gogglebox, Celebrity Gogglebox last week, last Friday or last Saturday, because it doesn't fall off the truck for us till Saturday, and we gotta wait for that Saturday truck to fall off, even though it shows
Ooh,
on Friday in the UK. We gotta wait for that Saturday
shame.
truck. Um, and they were watching it, so he got a little more of a taste of the show, but he still didn't say he wanted to watch it. So,
Mm.
but he likes that kind of show. But if they would get an English dub, he would watch it because he just gets too distracted by the words.
Yeah, if it gets popular enough, maybe they will do an English dub.
But
Do they tend to do a lot of English dubs for
or
like
if
reality shows? That doesn't strike
I
me as
don't
the
know,
kind of
I
thing that
don't
they
know.
would dub.
Well, I mean, but they had an English dub for the 100.
Hmm.
They had
Finished
an
it in
English dub for
2 days,
100,
around. Oh my
and the
goodness.
100 of the 100 was slow. That's why we gave up on the 100 because it was slow. If they would do an English dub for Sirens, I think he would watch it.
Was the 100 more popular in its home country? Was it like a super popular show in its home country?
I don't know because I think the 100 was one of those where they partnered with Netflix to make it. So
Oh, okay, okay,
I think it was made directly for Netflix. And
okay.
Sirens is another one where they partnered with Netflix, I think, to make it. So
Hmm.
it was directly, which is all kinds of drama I just saw on Philip DeFranco about how um Netflix is going over there and not paying the proper rates for these shows and getting the shows made cheap.
Of course.
It was already a problem that they were having in Korea with their own Korean companies not paying the people properly, and then Netflix just jumped in and followed the same trend, and it's
Didn't
not.
they just get a buttload of money for making everybody sign up for their own individual Netflix account?
Yep.
Why do they need to underpay these people? You just got a bunch of money. You just made everybody sign up for their own $8.99 account. Why are you undercharging these people?
Let's not talk about Netflix anymore.
Is
Other
yeah.
other than so Stars on Mars. Stars on Mars is pretty much like Celebrity um Big Brother, except the conceit is that they are all on Mars. Okay. And the way they achieve this is I had already heard of this city because of another show that your father had and I had watched about people who own hotels or bed and breakfasts and they compete. It's a place in Australia called Coober Pedy, which is completely desert.
Oh
And
no.
so it looks like the surface of Mars because it is so like there are no trees, there are
Oh no.
nothing. So like people live underground in Coober Pedy. They live in like these cave things in Coober Pedy. So it was perfectly possible for them to set up a space station looking thing and make it look like they're on Mars
Of course, because nobody's out
and
there.
make the people feel like they're on Mars and make the viewers feel like they're really on Mars. And of course, they're all, entertainers and um, media savvy people, so they know, okay, we know this is a competition show, but we're also going to keep the illusion
Commit
going
to the
by
bit.
saying commit to the bit. Thank you, that's the word I was looking for. Commit to the bit by saying we are on Mars. But unlike because these are all people who don't have to be on this show, so they're not totally cut off like on Big Brother where you can't call anybody or anything. They can do video chats with their family and stuff, because some of them got little kids, so they can do
Hey,
video.
sweetie, still on Mars. It's still a little rough, but I think we've got a little extra air today. Like, what are you saying? What do you, I think I saw an alien yesterday. It was crazy.
So, but I mean, and then I think I'm enjoying this more. There's only 4 episodes out so far because it's on regular TV, so the episodes are coming out once a week. Um, a few episodes of the 100.
Are you saying season one of Sirens or season one of something else? Sorry, I'm not processing
Yeah,
your sentence.
I'm not processing the season 1 thing that he's talking about. But
But if you only saw a few episodes of the 100, you probably got bored too. That's what it sounds like.
um but the reason I enjoy this more than Big Brother, because Big Brother, it felt like, I mean, and it's been on for 20 some years, so I'm sure they've added competitions and things and stuff like that. Um Too many characters you wanted dead on what? The 100?
Always
Too many,
being vicious.
too many what show is he talking about?
I think he's talking about the 100. Too many characters, too many
Okay.
dead. Oh my goodness.
I see. I didn't get far enough for me to want anybody dead. It was moving too slow. Um,
Yeah, he's talking about
okay.
the 100. I mean, if there's that
Um,
many people, I mean, cut out 50 of them at least. There's too many people to follow.
but they give them things to do every 2 days. The conceit is that we've put you there, but there's not a lot of food, so we put you there, but there's not a lot of food. So every 2 days, somebody is going to get sent home. And the
Hmm.
way you get sent home is if they consider you, if the group considers you mission critical or mish crit. And so they give them missions to do.
Hmm.
Okay. So there's different things like that something happened to the oxygen, so y'all have to all go out there and reconnect the hose,
Hmm.
or there are something infecting the food, or what.
Are they sending them out in full spacesuits in this
Yes.
Australia heat?
Yes.
They must have medics on site.
Yes.
Someone's
And they
going
have
to die.
60-pound backpacks on. It's on Hulu. You got to watch it, Myra.
I'm going to,
There's only 4 episodes so far. You got to watch it.
because I haven't started a new show after Living Single yet. I might just add that in real quick.
Yes, add that in real quick. You can finish it because the episodes are like 45 minutes long. You can finish it real quick on before you, as a palate cleanser, before you go watch 911 Lone Star.
That is what I had next on my list.
Yep, but this will be a good palate cleanser because these are only 1 episode a week, so you know,
Hmm.
watch that, and then while you're waiting for the next episode, you can binge some 911 Lone Star.
So y'all get
So
ready for us to do some Stars on Mars updates every
But
week.
Stars and Mars, I don't know how many episodes of it they're going to do because it's on regular Fox TV. But it's also a reality show. So, but because it's on regular TV, they could do 20 episodes, or because it's Fox, they could do because it's a reality show, they could do only 4 more episodes. Who knows?
Hmm. I
I don't know
wish,
how.
because this show has already been filmed and probably already
Mhm,
edited, and they're like just kind of releasing it as. I
mhm.
wish they would tell us how many episodes are going to be in a show.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
wish the new like
I'm scared. I'm scared to look up and do anything because I don't want to
yeah,
know. I don't want to know who won.
yeah.
So because like I said, they're eliminating people every 2 days, and whoever, and like there's also every 2 days a new person is picked to be like the mission commander, and so
Hmm.
they sit in the control center and give orders through the walkie talkies while everybody's out in the atmosphere doing the missions, and they also get to pick one person to be like their sidekick to help them.
This reminds me of another show that I've not seen anywhere else, and so I'm wondering if this is a fever dream that I watched this. Was there a show. It was like a reality show of people like staying together in like a bunker, but it was like this same concept, but instead of pretending they were on Mars, they're pretending they were in the zombie apocalypse and they had to go out and like forage for like food and like was this a fever dream? Did this show happen?
There's a show where they were, I don't remember a bunker. I know there was a show where it was supposed to be a
It
um
was like a warehouse or something.
like a utopia, but the place they lived in felt like a warehouse and it was called a utopia.
Okay, because this was very much like zombie apocalypse, and I feel like I remember one episode where like some strangers show up, and the people have to decide if they're gonna like let these people in and help them, or if they can't trust them and they're gonna kick them out. This feels like a fever dream because I've not seen it anywhere else, but I can vividly picture in my head these like people and kind of the
I think we were
setup.
talking about the Utopia. That was also on Fox.
Maybe.
And it got canceled. And I enjoyed that show though. I think I'm watching this and I think Ari, looking at this comment, Ari is thinking about the fictional television show, The 100,
Mm.
versus the Korean reality show, The 100. I think
There
we're
are
talking, I,
two.
yes, I think we're talking at cross purposes here. I think
There are.
that's why he said season 1 because there was
Oh.
more than one season of
What's the
the
fictional
100.
television show, The 100?
I'm trying to remember. Why are you trying to make me remember? The
Here, no,
100
you take a second.
TV
Ronald,
show
get me. Ronald's got me. I'm looking over here to the chat. Ronald, what is The 100?
set 97 years after a nuclear war destroyed civilization when a spaceship housing humanity's lone survivors sends 100 juvenile delinquents back to Earth. It's a
Okay.
post-apocalyptic science fiction show.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
Physical
we saw,
100 is the Korean show,
yes.
and The 100 is the
Yes.
fictional show. Okay.
97 years after a devastating nuclear apocalypse wipes out most human life, thousands of people now live in the space station orbiting Earth, which they call the Ark. 3 generations have been born in space, but when life support systems on the Ark begin to fail, 100 juvenile delinquents basically are sent to Earth in a last attempt to determine whether it is safe or at least send them. I remember watching the first season. I'm not gonna read any more of this. I remember watching the first season because I remember in the first season they sent the 100 people kids back to Earth and they thought they were being like sent to help, that we were helping the group by seeing if it was habitable, and then some of them find out, oh no, they sent y'all to die because y'all are sucking up too many resources.
They're expendable.
They
Oh,
don't
no.
they don't think Earth is safe. They sent y'all to die
Oh, I can't
because
watch that show. That's going to stress
y'all are
me out.
sucking up the resources. That's what I remember from that show.
That's going to stress me out. I'm not watching that.
And then it turns out that there were other tribes that survived the apocalypse and were actually living on Earth. They thought there were no people alive on Earth. It turns out there was other people alive on Earth. So that craziness. But SARS on Mars, if you just want something quick to cleanse your palate, guys, that's it's mildly fun. It's mildly interesting. Um, something to watch if you have nothing else to do. Okay, just a few more things on our list. Atomic Age Cocktail Party. This is a radio show which is part of Illinois Public Media. Are you about to tell us you have to go? I heard a knock on your door.
No, no, no. They were just coming in to get their phone charger.
Come and knock on my
Come
door.
and knock on my door. I've been
We
waiting
are
for.
waiting for you. You know that show?
No, I just know the theme song.
Oh, okay. All right. I figured you were too young to know that show. Um, Atomic Age Cocktail Party. It is on Illinois Public Media called they call their public media Will. I don't know why. It's that I think it's part of that thing when radio stations started giving their formats a name. So, like, if you're listening to the Amy format, then it's like folk music, and if you're listening to the David format, it was a weird thing they did in the '90s where they gave formats a name. So, if you're listening to the Greg format, and when satellite radio came around, like Sirius XM, then you would just tune to a station called Dave or Amy or Philip or
Who are these
whatever.
white people? What is this?
So anyway, Illinois Public Radio calls their thing Will. I don't know why.
Okay.
But there was a I got an urge the other day because I was kind of bored with all my playlists on Spotify. I said I haven't listened to this show that I used to listen to called Bachelor Pad Radio. This is way before I had Spotify. I used to go to the website and listen to it.
Hmm.
And I went to look it up to see if it still existed. It went off the air in 2021.
Aw.
Wah, wah. But then I went to Facebook. I think that's what I was going to Facebook for when I found the creepy guy who told me I had the face of an angel. Um, Turns out the guy, I don't know if his show was canceled because the radio station contract that he was doing the radio show for stopped or whatever. Because now he's with a different radio station, Illinois Public Radio, and he's doing kind of the same show, but it's called Atomic Age Cocktail Party. And it's
Okay.
basically lounge, what is called lounge, space age, exotica music, which
Uh-huh.
comes from, there was vaguely a period between 1955 and 1965, roughly in there somewhere, where it was not rock and roll, but not like, it was after swing music,
Uh-huh.
but before rock and roll got real heavy. And so it's very, like Frank Sinatra, Dean
I got the
Martin,
vibe.
Rosemary Clooney kind of vibe. And so he's back doing music, and I was just happy to find him. And I listened to him several days last week because they got all the you can stream it from Illinois Public Media's website. I can't listen to them on Spotify because, they're public radio, so they want you to like give a pledge and support their
Yeah.
station and all that other kind of stuff. So you can't listen to it on Spotify, but I can listen to it on the public radio site. So that's I just thought I'd
Nice.
mention that.
I've been listening to a bunch of Southern Gothic and folk music. Isaac actually sent me an album yesterday that I listened to, which I had heard one song, all the emails. Oh my goodness. I'd heard one song off the album, but had not heard the entire album. And so I listened to it. It's Stick Season by Noah Khan. Kahan?
Never heard of it.
Kahan. Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
see if I
that's
can put a
gone.
Okay, I'll see if I can put a link in the. We can put a link to the Spotify album in the description. But
I
it's
have
good.
not I have not written anything, so there are no links for this episode.
Discord, Spotify album, um, crochet pattern, the bandana pattern. What are you doing?
You're gonna expect me to remember all that?
I'm expecting you to write it down right now.
I didn't bring my notepad down here, so I didn't write anything down.
Our notes for the episode is in a notes app.
But see, I'm checking it off as we go.
Guess who also has the ability to check things off? I got you, sweetie. Please write these links down.
I
Because
can't
we're
write.
not going to remember them after the fact.
I will. I How about I link as much as I can remember, and
And
and as I put in the show notes every week, if there's anything I haven't linked, leave us a comment.
all
Um,
right,
Jimmy Awards. Do
what's
you know what
that?
the Jimmy Awards are?
I don't. What's that?
The Jimmy Awards are kind of like the Tony Awards for high school. They're specifically for musical comedy, so they don't do the whole, straight plays and stuff like that. It's just musical comedy.
Okay.
And basically they I don't know if it directly funnels in or not. Of course, Ronald knows what the Jimmy Awards are. I had never heard of them until a few years ago when I first heard of the Bloomy Awards, because
What's
the
that?
Bloomy Awards is our local version where the Charlotte area high schools, the Blumenthal Arts,
Okay.
in
Yeah, I was wondering
Charlotte.
how local you meant, but okay.
Yeah, Blumenthal Arts in Charlotte. They do the Bloomy Awards, and they do a good bit of the state for high school.
Give me a
And
sec.
because I remember watching the Bloomy Awards
So many
on,
interruptions today. Tell them, and you can catch me up later. I will be right back.
okay,
I'm so sorry.
I remember watching the Bloomy Awards on um a local public radio station one year. And then I said, "Oh, this was a good time. I've got to remember doing this." And then I totally forgot about it. And I never watched the Bloomy Awards again. And that has got to be, it was pre-pandemic, so it has got to be at least 5 years ago. And then just the other day, I almost missed the Tonys the other week because I thought the Tonys wasn't going to be televised, and then I found out after people were posting stuff on their TikToks that it had been televised, and so I ended up going back to Paramount Plus and watching the Tony Awards, and then just this week, people were starting to post stuff from the Jimmy Awards, and I was like, the Jimmy Awards? Oh, I knew the Jimmy Awards were a thing. And then I found out like the day before that the Jimmy Awards stream was up, that it had streamed live on Sunday, and that they were leaving the video up on YouTube. But today, either yesterday, no, yesterday was the last day. Either yesterday or today was the last day that they were going to take it down after that.
Oh,
So I watched it yesterday.
was it good?
And oh yeah, it's fun. The fun thing about it is that you what are the words I'm looking for? Because it's musical theater, you only get, they do a whole bunch of medleys where you watch a whole bunch of people perform, and you don't have a whole lot of, I mean, you can fast forward past it, but you don't have a whole lot of boring speeches or anything like that to
Okay.
sit through, because they've gone past all that. So it's just, you basically get medley of different performances. So like, because you've got 96 nominees. I just went to check and see if it was still up, and it's not
That's
there
a
anymore.
lot.
You have 96 nominees from the different from all the
Categories.
different, well, no, not different categories. It's like the Bloomies does most of North Carolina, so they get a couple nominees from there, and then so there's like a male nominee and a female nominee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so actor and actress is pretty much the only awards they give out. So they give out two awards, and
Okay.
so then Georgia will have an organization that has their nominees that they put up. Does that make sense?
Okay. I think so. So the
So like,
Jimmy's covers all of it, and then each of these smaller individual groups they will send their nominees for
yeah,
the bigger.
they'll send somebody up. Yes.
Okay.
So there was like one Charlotte person and one Durham person, I think is what got sent up
Okay.
from what I saw, for our area. But
Did
so
anybody
there's
from our
not
area win anything big?
so there's huh?
I said, did anybody from our area win anything
No,
big?
no.
Oh.
Because like I said, they only give out best actor and best actress, so just two
Oh, for
awards
the whole
out
thing, they only do
out of
two.
the 90. Yeah, there's two awards out of the whole
Oh,
96 people. What
okay.
they do is that they have like, for instance, I'm trying to think of a play like um
Sweetie
Anastasia,
Todd.
like Anastasia. Well, they didn't do
Okay.
Sweeney Todd. Like Anastasia. Several schools across the country did Anastasia. Out
Mm-hmm.
of the nominees, there were two people who did the same role for Anastasia. So in the medley, he sang half the song, he sang half the song, and then they kind of sang
Okay.
it together as a duet. So that's kind of how they do it. Like
Okay.
like they'll have a medley with like each medley has like 6 or 8 people in it, and usually the people who both did the same role are singing in the same medley together.
Okay.
And so there were lots of medleys, and then there was group performances. There was like either 2 or 3. There's 3 group performances because there was like the opening number, which was all 96 people.
Mm-hmm.
There's then there was a number that paid tribute to touring companies where
Mm-hmm.
they sang a lot of different songs from different musicals that had songs about you know, getting on the road, or I'll see
Mm-hmm.
you in New York or whatever. And then they had the medley, the Shakespeare medley was really good. Where they had songs where they sang songs from Kiss Me Kate, which is a song which is based on Taming of the Shrew, and they sang songs from And Juliet, which is a musical that's currently on Broadway that uses which is a jukebox musical basically because it uses
Okay.
modern songs to tell
Mm-hmm.
the story. So they were singing a lot of like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and all that stuff. It was really good. So yeah, it was really fun to watch. So they do all those medleys and group numbers, and then they narrow it down to who are the 6 finalists. They
Mm-hmm.
name who were the semifinalists, and they say you did a good job, but you're not in the finals. And then
Literally
all
wearing an and Juliet shirt right now.
and then and then they have the 6 finalists, and those 6 finalists get to sing a solo.
Ooh.
And the girl who eventually won for Best Actress,
Mm-hmm.
her solo was so good. It
What did
was
she
so good.
saying?
She sang a song that I had heard in competition before on Britain's Got Talent, and I was like, I don't even know what this song is for. I assume it's a pop song or something. No, it's from a musical version of the movie Ghost.
The pottery one.
Yeah, apparently they made a musical version of that back in 2014. Didn't last on long, but people apparently are still singing songs from it because that's what her solo was from, and it was very good. She did a
Ooh.
very good job. You can probably find her on TikTok. If I find her, I will send it to you.
Do.
The girl who also sang, she was a finalist, and she sang "I'm Just a Girl Who Can't Say No," and she was funny, but her accent was all over the place, so it was not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if she was just nervous, but it yeah,
Probably because she like they probably told them it was streaming to millions of people, and they're what, high schoolers?
yeah,
I
yeah.
pee my pants right there.
But it was good. If I remember, it's one of those things. If I would remember that the Jimmy Awards exist, I would watch this again next year. Even though I don't have any kids in high school anymore, it was just fun to watch because they were all very talented. But I mentioned it also because eh, watching this show just reminded me that I have no concept of age anymore. Everybody who is not my age is a baby
Oh yeah, anybody
because
younger than me is a
because
child.
because no, but you to me look the same age as these people I just saw on,
Oh,
and
thank you.
these people were like 16, 17, and 18, and you look the same age to me,
Oh,
which just
stop.
which shut up, which just says to me that all these people are just children to me now,
You flash for
because
me so.
you all, to me you are either a toddler, like clearly in diapers, or you are in this nebulous middle part, and then you're my age.
See that nebulous middle part for me, there's like baby, which is like you are in diapers, and then there's like kid-ish, and then somewhere between the ages of like 5 to like 10. If I look at you, I have no idea how old you are.
Yeah,
And then 10 to like 6, I think 15 or 16, I'm like, okay, you're like a preteen or whatever. And then Anywhere like 17 up to like 20, I'm like, all of you could be the same age. And then after the 20s up to my age, I'm like, okay, all of you could be the same age. I have
See,
like
I
chunk.
feel like 16 I feel like 16 and down, I can tell that those are genuine actual children. 16, 15 or 16 up to about 45, y'all are all the same age.
That's a big
That's what
section.
I'm saying. That's what
Are
I'm saying.
you
You
face
all look
blind?
you all look the same age to me now. And then 45 is lumped in with my age to me. And then
Do
from
you
40
have face
some
blindness?
45 until like you need a walker is my age. And then
Oh my gosh. 16 to 45 is a big section. You can't tell the difference between a 16-year-old and my elderly face.
no, no,
What is going on?
no. There was a girl who got on the stage on the Jimmy Awards, and I said, "Are they letting teachers participate in this contest?" Because this girl looked old enough. I mean, just tall, broad, the whole thing was old enough to be a teacher.
Oh my goodness. Chloe gotta beep out Miss Danny revealing her age. Ah,
I didn't reveal my age. I said 45 to my age is what I said. I didn't reveal my age.
it's all nebulous. It's a mystery.
It's all nebulous. Okay, last one, Secret Chef. We just watched this last night, so I just added it because we just found it last night. It is on Hulu.
What's
It is a competition show. We only watched 2 episodes so far. It is a cooking show, but unlike other cooking, it's like a combination between a cooking show and The Circle. Okay, because well, semi The Circle because they do get to see each other sometimes. But there's all these cooks. Okay, and in the first episode, they all cooked an egg dish and they all sat down together and tasted each other's food and got an idea for everybody's style or whatever. There's social media cooks, there's home cooks, and there's professional cooks. Nobody knows who's who.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you go back into your tasting room. Everybody has a tasting room. And then they are giving an a secret alias name. Okay, and you're not allowed to tell anybody what your secret alias name is. And so their names are like Chef Ube, Chef Donut, Chef Macaron, Chef Eggplant, that kind of name.
Do they pick their own name or are they given the
No,
name?
they're given a name.
Okay.
And they're given the name, which I think is very clever. They're given the name in a way like Chef Ube, even though ube is a vegetable that's like used in African food, they didn't give that name to any of the black people. They gave that to a white person. Chef Macaron is a French cookie. They had a trained French chef. They didn't give him the French cookie name.
Okay. They
So
mess people up.
so they didn't want to, like
Yeah.
mess people up kind of thing. Um and so then there's different competitions. It's $100,000 on the line, and there's different competitions. You're tasting each other's food, but you don't know whose food you're tasting. Okay, so like there'll be a challenge where you have to cook. I'm trying to remember what the first challenge. Oh, the first challenge was you have to cook with another person, but you don't know who your partner is. So you have 15 minutes to cook, and then you step out of the room, and they step in from the other side, and
This
they have to keep cooking.
so this
And
is an
then
exact thing. Do you watch Sorted Food?
yes, I've watched sorted food, so I knew that was a sorted food thing. I
Yes,
knew
because they
that.
do that exact thing. Well, one of them
But
will
that
start
that's
and they don't tell them what it is, and then they like come in.
mhm. But they don't even know who they're cooking with
Mm.
on this. So they're coming in
Do
from
they at least know
opposite
what dish they're
directions.
making, or they don't know what dish they're
Well,
making now?
they do give them a pad and paper, so they are writing down notes of this is what I'm trying to do. But you got 15 minutes, so you don't have a
You
whole
can't
lot of
write that
time.
much.
You don't have a whole lot of time, So they're writing down chicken scratch notes and trying to cook at the same time. And then they go into, so there's the kitchen that they use, and then they have their tasting room that they go in, and there's a conveyor belt in the tasting room, and so the dishes are brought down on the conveyor belt, and then you just taste the dish. You don't know who made it. You just taste the dishes, and then you make your notes and your votes about what, and then you send that up, and then there's a dot matrix printer in there. I'm talking about the old timey printer that goes
Yeah, the one that's got the
that
weird
has the
like
holes on the
perforations.
side.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And the whole lobby area where they sit and they do get to talk to each other is all decorated um like the mid 80s, and with mid 80s TVs and everything. And they and so then it'll come up what people said about their dish.
Oh,
Okay.
so like say I was one of the people on there and there's like 10 other people on this, or there's 9 other people on the show. So I would go through and taste the 9 dishes and write down what I thought about each single dish. And then
Hmm.
when I'm done, then I get a dot matrix of what the other 9 people said about my dish.
Yes, but when they're
Okay.
saying, when you're eating the dish, you don't know whose dish it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just put your comment about this dish, put it under the plate. It goes down the conveyor belt. The producers and showrunners in the back go, "Okay, I
Frantic
know."
typers.
Yeah, the people in the back go, "Okay, I know that spaghetti and meatballs was made by Chef Donut, so I'm gonna put these comments on Chef Donut's list."
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, because they don't mark that Chef Donut made the spaghetti and meatballs,
Mm.
so you don't know who made it. You just make your comments, and
Okay.
then the people in the back funnel the comments to the person who made the dish.
And then you get your
Okay,
little sugar,
and
sugar,
so
sugar,
you
sugar.
and you get your sugar sugar. You don't know who made the comments on your dish, so you don't even know their alias. You just know
This is the
some
comment
people
that was
said
made.
this and some people said that. Exactly, and then everybody meets back out in the lobby where the televisions are, and there is an animated chef hat with eyes on the TV screen, voiced by a comedian that I have heard many times on my podcast that I listen to, called Arden Marin. She has a very happy, sunny voice.
Hmm.
And Arden Marin is the voice of the chef hat called Sheffy, and Sheffy tells them what's going on. Sheffy also, there's also a intercom system in your kitchen area, in your tasting room area, and if she sees something, then she will tell you. Like they were mispronouncing an ingredient, and she kept coming over the incom. That's not how you pronounce it. That's not how you pronounce it. It's like, it was
All of
funny.
this like 80s decor and the dot prints,
Uh-huh.
dot matrix. This is such a choice. This is such a
It was
choice.
it was so cute. But then you all come into the lobby, and Sheffy tells you it's time to watch TV, and you watch the TV, and Sheffy's there on the TV, and Sheffy tells you the person who got the amount of votes was Chef Ube. So Chef Ube, you now have to reveal yourself and step forward, and then they wait a beat, and then they step forward, and then they say goodbye, blah blah blah.
Mm.
And so somebody's eliminated every episode.
Okay, this sounds interesting. I might check that out for like an episode or two. I've not been
Yeah.
watching very many competition shows. I've been mostly listening to you talk about competition shows, which is much more interesting to me.
Mhm.
But I might check that out just to see the like 80s decor and stuff because that sounds cute.
Yeah, watch one episode. If you don't like it, it's no. Same thing with Stars on Mars. Watch one episode. If you don't like it, it's not going to kill you.
Mm.
But that's probably what your father and I will be watching tonight, because I think we watched 2 episodes last night and he seemed to like that. That's the kind of thing that we watch together
Hmm.
um, before bedtime. Like if he gets off at 7 o'clock, then we will watch something like 911 Lone Star or The Equalizer, something that is a drama and has things to keep up with. It has plot to keep up with and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But if he gets off like tonight, he'll be home around 10:30 or 11 and he just wants something to help to watch right as he's trying to fall asleep and it's not going to bother him too much to stop in the middle, then we will watch one of these competition type
Mm.
shows. That's why I keep racking up these shows I found that app called Sofa where I can just make a list of shows that I want to check. And it has a database, so I can just type the name of the show and it'll put
Ooh.
it on the list with what channel or what streaming service it's on. So
Sidebar, I love that Google has added the feature of if you type in a show, then it'll tell you what streaming services it's on.
yeah,
I
yeah, they
love that
added that
feature
a
so
while
much.
back, and I really like that. I do like
That
that.
is so
That
useful.
helps. Yep, that helps. That is very useful. But also having this because I'll say, "Oh, I'm going to remember this," and then I don't. And I found this Sofa app a few weeks ago, and there's a full service one that you can pay for. But really, all I do is add on it games that I want to try playing
Hmm.
and TV shows that I want to watch with your father, so that I can remember. Because you have to grab him, or else he will have me watching some crazy nonsense that watching House Hunters for the 5 millionth time.
Daddy loves a house show.
He
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 loves a
loves
house
the
show.
house show. He will either have me watching House Hunters or Lottery Dream House. And I am so tired of watching those two shows those are like comfort shows for him. But unless I
Mhm.
have something lined up that he can jump right into, then I'm stuck watching those shows.
He
So
loves the renovation show.
yep. Oh, and Crime Scene Kitchen is back for anybody who's interested in Crime Scene Kitchen.
Which one was that again? They
Crime Crime
go
Scene
ahead.
Kitchen is where they have a kitchen and they have it set up where someone has cooked something in that kitchen. So you'll
And they
see
have to taste
yeah,
it,
you'll
figure out
see
what it
like some
is.
crumbs on the counter or you'll see a smear of something on a apron and you're trying to tell is that cherries or is that raspberries and a recipe up on the refrigerator with something crossed out of it or
Hmm.
whatever, all these kind of clues and stuff in the trash can and stuff, and so you got to look everywhere in the
And put it
dishwasher,
together
the
to make a
sink,
thing.
trash can, and then try to make a thing, and whoever gets closest to the dish that was made is safe, and whoever is farthest away ends up getting eliminated.
Okay.
So your father really likes that one. That's the kind of show that as soon as that one comes back, we don't wait to binge that. We like watch that every
As
week.
it's coming out.
Yeah, as soon as the new episode comes out. It's
Yeah, I
that
think the
good.
last show that Wayne and I watched together that was coming out, like we watched as it was coming out, was Lovecraft Country. I liked Lovecraft
A
Country. I didn't like the
drama.
ending, but it was so interesting. I really liked that show. I
Not
wish
my
that there
type
was
of
another
show,
season.
but I'm sad for you that they're not bringing it back. Yep.
It was good.
Okay, so we have made it through our reading, watching, listening to list. We really, and it is 3.5 hours.
Yep, because we were rambling for a second. Can I get through the shower thought just so I can take it off the list because I will forget it if we leave it there. Have you seen the EOS Fox commercial?
I don't even know what EOS is.
It's I think it was the lotion. It was it was just the weirdest commercial because I don't really remember what the product was for. I just remember the
I
commercial.
thought EOS was that round lip balm that was shaped.
EOS did have lip balm, but I guess they came out with shave cream. Shave cream. I just had to look it up. It was shaving cream.
Okay.
It was insane because it opens up to like a fireplace and then it pans over and there is a full anthropomorphized fox sitting on a couch with a human draped over its shoulders. You know how like people will have the fox like scarves or whatever? A full anthropomorphized fox with a human draped over its shoulders. And they were like, with the EOS shave cream, their skin is so silky, I could wear them like a scarf. And then the human looks up and is like, can we get a snack soon or something? Like, it was so insane. Please look up this commercial. Please look up this commercial. It's like skin. I'm looking right now.
Oh
The
my God.
EOS products like YouTube page, and the title for this video, it's a 30-second video. Skin so soft, foxes will be jealous. It was
Oh my
unhinged.
God.
It was so crazy.
Oh, that sounds so crazy. That
So
sounds
crazy.
crazy. That sounds crazy.
Everyone,
Oh my
go
God.
look it up. It caught me. Oh, did you find it? Look at you see this? What is this? I was so caught off guard by this commercial because I was just watching YouTube videos and then this like nightmare shows up. And I'm like, what is this? And the human's alive and it's just chilling. And no, what it was the lady was like, and I'm getting paid so well for this. And then the guy's like, they're paying you? I
That
was like,
is weird.
Marshall needed a jump scare warning. I was unprepared.
That's weird and creepy. And
Yes.
see, I never thought of a fox around somebody. I was like, oh, that's interesting. A fox stole. But seeing a human across the fox is like, ah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that
It was,
that that must be what the foxes think when they see us walking around with fur on. They go,
yeah,
ah.
like, what are you doing? I was just,
I mean, it's not gonna stop me from wearing fur and eating meat, but I'm just saying.
since when can we afford fur? Since when can we afford real
True.
fur?
I'm just saying if I could afford real fur,
Yeah.
it wouldn't stop me. I'm just saying.
Oh, it was just, and he would say fur. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, when did the furries infect EOS? Like, who on that writing board is a secret furry and convince these normies that it was going to be okay?
Okay, well, you can take that off your list now.
Thank you. I just had to talk about it because I knew I was going to forget it, and I wanted to talk about it while it was just vivid in my memory.
Crazy, crazy, crazy,
Right.
crazy. Well, thank you for hanging in with us this far
Yes.
because we rambled as usual and we got off to a terrible start, but that's neither here nor there.
I only got 4 hours of sleep. It's not my fault.
Yes, you need to go to sleep and I need to lug all my stuff back upstairs.
We
So,
we might be in the Discord talking for a little while because I still have stuff that I've got to do today. So we might be in the Discord talking for a little while. So check the link afterwards to hop in the Discord and maybe chat with us if we decide to go over there.
if we decide. But in the meantime, if you have hung with us this far, how about you put a fox emoji
Yes.
or a razor emoji in
Yes.
in the comments?
But I think there's a shaving can or something. Put something related to that commercial. Put a bunch of stuff related to that commercial and we'll decipher it like hieroglyphics. Do it.
But thank you so much for hanging with us and listening to us ramble. We really appreciate you spending some time with us. Look at Ronald.
Ronald's fox emoji. Ari's right. You didn't make it to the end again, Ronald.
Yay, cool. And barring any unforeseen emergency,
We'll
um,
be back next week.
what's the word I was looking for? God willing and the creek don't rise. We will be here next week.
Next week will be a shorter week because I will have to go to First Friday. I thought this Friday was First Friday. Turns out I don't know how many days are
I
in the month.
told you, Ari,
So
she got it mixed up.
yeah, so I will
So,
be. We'll have a quick one next Friday while I'm putting on makeup.
so everybody, have a happy 4th of July weekend. Enjoy some hot dogs for me,
All
and
beef hot dogs for me.
we'll see you next week. Bye.
Like, subscribe, smash the bell, check our links, join the Discord. the foxes in the living